Have you ever felt the echo of a song you have never heard? A melody that vibrates just beneath the noise of your thoughts, a silent language your soul remembers but your mind cannot translate. It is a hum of deep unease in a world filled with shallow pleasures, a feeling of being homesick for a place you cannot name. You stand in the midst of your life, perhaps a life that looks successful, a life filled with objects and achievements, yet you feel a profound emptiness. It is as if you are the sole inhabitant of a magnificent city, one that has sunk beneath the waves of your own quiet desperation. This is your personal Atlantis, a kingdom of immense potential now submerged under the pressures of expectation, the relentless tide of digital noise, and the heavy weight of a life lived for others. You have followed all the maps given to you by the world, yet you have found yourself more lost than ever. And so, you have arrived here, not by accident, but by a quiet, persistent pull from within. This is not a lecture hall, nor a place of dogma. Think of this space as a tuning fork, struck in the vast silence of the cosmos, waiting for you to resonate with it. This is a space of permission, permission to finally stop running, permission to be still, long enough to feel the ground beneath your feet, permission to turn your attention away from the chaotic winds of the external world and toward the subtle climate of your inner landscape. We are not here to seek answers from outside, for the outside world is what has created the confusion. Instead, we are about to begin the greatest archaeological dig of your existence, the excavation of your own soul. We are here to listen for those lost words, to feel for that forgotten frequency, to awaken the part of you that has been sleeping for a very, very long time. Let the world outside fall away. Let the noise fade into a distant murmur. Breathe in, and let us begin. That persistent hum you feel just beneath the surface of your day. It is not anxiety, not in the way the world defines it. It is not a chemical imbalance to be corrected by a pill, nor is it a flaw in your character. Let us give it its true name. It is a dissonance, a vibrational ache. It is the sound of your soul living at a frequency that is not its own. This feeling, this deep and undefined longing that visits you in the quiet moments in the car, in the shower, in the dead of night when all the distractions have finally fallen silentis, not a sign that you are broken. It is a memory. It is the most important memory you have. It is the memory of your true note, the authentic resonance of your being. It is your soul, humming its original song, trying to call you home. We live in a world that is a symphony of noise, a cacophony of shoulds and musts, of curated images and manufactured desires. From the moment we awaken to the blue light of a screen, to the moment we collapse in exhaustion, we are bombarded by frequencies that do not belong to us. The frantic, jagged frequency of breaking news, the hollow, desperate frequency of social comparison, the heavy, grinding frequency of financial worry, the shrill, demanding frequency of endless obligation. We marinate in this discordant orchestra day after day, and we wonder why we feel so tired, so empty, so profoundly out of tune. The exhaustion you feel is not from the work you do. It is from the constant, subconscious effort of vibrating at a pitch that is unnatural to your spirit. It is the immense energetic cost of pretending to be the person the world demands, instead of the person you truly are. The conflict, then, is born in this chasm between your soul's memory and your mind's conditioning. There is a part of you, a deep, ancient part, that yearns to return to its own clear, pure frequency. It craves stillness. It craves authenticity. It craves the simple peace of being. But your mind, conditioned for survival in this noisy world, has become an addict. It is addicted to the distraction, to the drama, to the next hit of external validation. It fears the silence, for in the silence, the dissonance becomes undeniable. And so, the mind creates a strategy. It tells you to turn up the volume of the outside world. Feeling empty? Buy something. Feeling lonely? Scroll through the lives of others. Feeling lost? Binge another series, chase another promotion, start another superficial relationship. It is a desperate attempt to drown out the soul's persistent hum with the static of the mundane. But you cannot numb a spiritual ache with a physical or mental remedy. You can only postpone the reckoning. And that is why you are here. because the postponement has become more painful than the potential cure. So let this be the first truth you absorb. Let it settle into your very bones. You are not broken. You are not flawed. You are not a project to be fixed. You are a divine instrument that has been knocked out of tune by the clumsiness of the world. A Stradivarius violin does not become worthless when a string is loosened. It simply needs to be recalibrated. A radio is not broken when it emits static. It is simply caught between stations. Your journey is not one of frantic repair, but of patient, loving retuning. It is a process of remembering the song you were born to play. The core message is this: the cure for your unease is not to add something new, but to rediscover something ancient. It is to subtract the noise until all that is left is the music of you. Imagine your soul as a perfect, crystalline tuning fork, forged in cosmic fire. It was designed to vibrate at a single, pure frequency. Let us call this frequency truth, or love, or source. When you were born, this tuning fork was ringing with perfect clarity, but then it was placed in a room filled with other instruments, all playing different songs in different keys. Society is this room. It is a chaotic orchestra where fear plays the bass drum, envy plays the screeching violins, and ambition blows the frantic trumpets. Your perfect tuning fork, by the laws of sympathetic resonance, began to vibrate with these other sounds. It started to pick up the jarring frequency of inadequacy from school, the distorted frequency of conditional love from family, the chaotic frequency of consumerism from culture. After years in this room, it has forgotten its own note. It hums with a confused, muddy vibrations. The dissonance you feel right now. It is vibrating, but it is not alive with its own truth. It is merely reacting to the noise around it. The path back begins with a single courageous act, the practice of intentional silence. This is your first practical step, your first act of rebellion against the tyranny of noise. It is simple, but it is not easy. For 5 minutes each day, you will consciously create a sanctuary from the external world. Turn off the phone, the television, the computer. Sit in a chair or on the floor. It does not matter where. Simply be still. You are not trying to meditate in the formal sense. You are not trying to empty your mind. That is an impossible task, a battle you will always lose. Your only task is to listen, not with your ears, but with your entire being. At first, the only thing you will hear is the frantic chatter of your own mind, the to-do lists, the worries, the replays of old conversations, the inner critic. Do not fight these thoughts. Do not judge them. Simply allow them to be there, like clouds passing in the sky of your awareness. Your mind will scream for its drug of choice, for a distraction. It will tell you this is a waste of time. It will invent urgent tasks that must be done right now. This is the withdrawal. Acknowledge it, and gently, lovingly, return to your task, to listen. You are listening for the space between the thoughts. You are listening for the silence that holds the noise. And somewhere, deep within that silence, you may begin to detect something else. Do not search for it. Let it come to you. It may not be a sound at all. It may be a feeling, a subtle warmth in your chest, a sudden sense of peace that has no cause, a fleeting feeling of rightness, of homecoming. This is it. This is the faint, primordial hum of your forgotten frequency. It is the sound of your own tuning fork, finally given a moment of quiet to remember its true note. At first, it will be incredibly faint, like a distant star on a cloudy night. But the more you return to this practice of intentional silence, the more you create a space for it, the brighter and clearer it will become. You are clearing the debris, wiping the dust off the instrument. You are telling your soul, through your attention, I am ready to listen. This hum is not just a personal feeling. It is your unique signature in the energy field of the universe. It is your part in the great symphony of existence. Everything in creation has its own frequency, its own song. The earth has a song, the stars have a song, the trees have a song, and so do you. The profound disease of modern humanity is that so many of us are living our lives without ever hearing our own music. We are performing a part written by someone else, dancing to a rhythm that jars our spirit. To find and cultivate your own frequency is the most profound act of healing you can undertake. It aligns you not only with your true self, but with the intelligent, benevolent energy of the cosmos itself. When you are in tune, the universe can work through you without resistance. Life begins to flow. Synchronicities appear. You find yourself in the right place at the right time, guided by an unseen hand. This is not magic. This is physics. It is the law of resonance. Like attracts like. A clear frequency attracts clear experiences. So do not be discouraged if your first attempts at silence feel chaotic or unproductive. It has taken a lifetime to accumulate this much noise. It will take more than a moment to find the quiet. But every time you choose to sit in intentional silence, you are casting a vote for your own soul. You are strengthening a new neural pathway, a new habit of being. You are turning down the volume of the world so you can finally hear the whisper of your own truth. This is the first, most essential step in the archaeology of you. Before we can excavate the deeper chambers, we must first learn to quiet the construction noise at the surface. Continue this practice. Be patient with yourself. Be loving with yourself. The hum is there. It has always been there. It is waiting for you patiently, eternally. But as we sit in this newfound silence, a new awareness dawns. We realize that the loudest noise was not coming from the world outside, after all. As the external static fades, an internal voice becomes startlingly clear. It is a powerful, persuasive voice that has been running the show from behind the scenes for years. It is a voice that is terrified of this new quiet, terrified of this emerging frequency, because this frequency threatens its very existence. Before we can go any further on this journey of retuning, we must turn and face the source of this voice. We must meet the gatekeeper. As you sit in the sanctuary of your intentional silence, the external noise of the world recedes. But as it does, another sound becomes more prominent. It is a voice, a constant internal monologue. It is the narrator of your life, the commentator, the critic, the worrier. For years you have assumed this voice is you. It speaks with your accent, uses your memories, and claims your name. But it is not you. It is the guardian at the gate. This is the one we have come to meet. This is the ego. Let us first dispense with the idea that the ego is an enemy to be vanquished. This is a battle you cannot win, because this guardian is a part of you, forged in the fires of your own life. It is not a monster. It is a bodyguard, a soldier, a protector that was born in a moment of profound vulnerability. Think back. The guardian was created the first time you were deeply hurt. The moment a parent's love felt conditional, the day you were shamed in a classroom, the instant a friend's betrayal left a scar on your trust. In that moment of overwhelming pain, a part of your consciousness made a vow: never again. I will never allow myself to be this vulnerable, this hurt, ever again. And in that instant, the guardian was conscripted. It began to build a fortress around your tender heart. The bricks were made of fear. The mortar was made of judgment. The watchtowers were built from the need for control. And it created a mask, a persona, to wear when dealing with the outside world. This mask became your identity. The guardian's prime directive is simple: avoid pain at all costs. Its entire existence is dedicated to keeping you inside the walls of this fortress, where it believes you will be safe. The tools of this guardian are the very sources of your daily suffering. Its primary weapon is fear. It whispers endless, catastrophic scenarios to you. Don't apply for that job, you'll be rejected. Don't express your true feelings, you'll be abandoned. Don't try something new, you'll fail and be humiliated. These are not prophecies. They are security protocols. Its second tool is judgment. It judges others relentlessly to create a sense of superiority, a buffer of "I'm better than them." And it judges you even more harshly, a tactic of preemptive self-attack. It believes that if it criticizes you first, the criticism from others will hurt less. Its third tool is comparison. The guardian holds a relentless measuring stick, constantly checking your progress, your appearance, your success against everyone else's. This ensures you are always in a state of striving, never at peace, because to be at peace is to lower your guard. And its final, most powerful tool is identification. It clings desperately to labels, your job title, your political beliefs, your achievements, your wounds. It tells you, you are a survivor, you are a successful executive, you are an anxious person. Because if you were to let go of these labels, the Guardian fears it would dissolve into nothingness, leaving you undefended. Herein lies the great inner conflict. Your soul, the true you, yearns to walk out of the fortress gates. It wants to feel the sun on its skin, to walk barefoot in the grass of real experience, to connect authentically with others. It craves the expansive, terrifying, beautiful freedom of the unknown. But every time you approach the gate, the Guardian steps in your way. It holds up the shield of your past traumas and brandishes the sword of your future fears. Remember what happened last time, it warns. It's not safe out there. The world is cruel. Stay here. It's predictable. It's known. And so you are caught, torn between the dull ache of a life half-lived inside the prison of safety and the paralyzing fear of what might happen if you were to step outside. This internal standoff is the root of your procrastination, your self-sabotage, your feeling of being profoundly stuck. You are a king trapped inside his own castle by his own royal guard. The great spiritual traditions understood this dilemma, and their solution was not war, but radical compassion. You cannot destroy the Guardian. It is made of your own energy. To fight it is to wage a civil war against yourself, a war that will leave you exhausted and your fortress stronger than ever. The way forward is to do the last thing the Guardian expects. You do not attack it. You do not ignore it. You walk calmly towards it. You look it in the eye, and you thank it. You acknowledge its service. This act of conscious, loving recognition is the key that begins to unlock the gate. This Guardian is your shadow. We are taught to fear our shadow, to disown the parts of ourselves we deem unacceptably our anger, our fear, our shame. We run from it, pretending it doesn't exist. But the more you run from your shadow, the more it seems to chase you, to control you from behind. Imagine running away from your own physical shadow on a sunny day. It's an absurd and impossible task. The only way to deal with the shadow is to stop running, turn around, face it. And as you face it, you realize it has no substance, no power of its own. It is simply a place where the light has not yet reached. When you stand tall, centered in the light of your own awareness, the shadow does not vanish. Instead, it falls behind you, where it belongs. It becomes integrated, a part of the whole, no longer a terrifying phantom, but a simple consequence of your existence in the light. To confront the ego is to turn and face your own shadow with compassion. Here is your practice, the practice of observation without judgment. The Guardian's voice is the stream of thoughts in your head. From now on, you will cease to identify with this stream. You will become the observer standing on the riverbank. When a thought of self-criticism arises, such as, "I am not smart enough for this," instead of believing it, you will simply label it. "Ah," you say to yourself, with a sense of gentle curiosity, "this is the voice of the Guardian. This is the thought of inadequacy. It is trying to protect me from the potential pain of failure." You do not argue with the thought. You do not try to suppress it. You simply notice it, label it, and let it float by like a leaf on the stream. A thought of judgment towards another person comes up. Look at what they are wearing. You notice it. "Ah, this is the Guardian again. This is the thought of comparison. It is trying to make me feel superior in order to feel safe." By doing this, you create a space, a sacred space between you, the silent, aware observer, and the noisy, conditioned thought patterns of the Guardian. In this space, there is freedom. In this space, you remember that you are not the voice in your head. You are the one who hears it. To deepen this practice, engage in a dialogue. In a quiet moment, close your eyes and invite the Guardian to speak to you. Ask it, "What are you so afraid of?" Listen for the answer. It will likely show you an image or a feeling from your past, a moment of deep hurt. See it through the Guardian's eyes. Feel the fear it feels. Then, respond with the compassion of the wise, adult self you are today. You might say, "I see now. I see you are trying to protect me from that pain. Thank you. You have done an incredible job for so long, and I am so grateful. But I am not that helpless child anymore. I am strong now. I have resources and wisdom I didn't have then. You do not have to carry this heavy sword and shield anymore. You can lay them down. You can rest. Let me take it from here. Feel the immense relief in this act of self-compassion. This is the alchemy of integration. You are not killing the ego, you are giving it a new job. Its job is no longer to be the terrified king in the castle, but a wise advisor to you, the true monarch of your inner kingdom. As you practice this, something miraculous begins to happen. The guardian, feeling seen, heard, and appreciated for the first time, begins to relax. The constant tension in your shoulders might ease, the knot in your stomach might loosen, and the gate, rusted shut for decades, begins to creak open. At first, it is just a sliver of light, but it is enough. It is the light of possibility. It is the fresh air of a life not dictated by fear. And as you peer through this opening, you do not see a chaotic battlefield or a terrifying void as the Guardian had warned. You see a landscape, your own inner landscape. It is a vast territory that has been long neglected, shaped by the events of your past. And you notice that running through this land is a great river, a river of emotion and life force. But it is not flowing. It has been frozen solid for years, locked in time by the ice of unacknowledged pain. Before we can venture into this new territory, we must first attend to this frozen river. We must learn to thaw the ice. With the Guardian's permission, we step through the gate. The air on this side is different. It is still heavy and cold. Before us lies the vast landscape of our own history, a territory we have not consciously walked for a very long time. And running through the center of it all, where a vibrant river of life force should be, there is only a vast expanse of ice. A glacier of unshed tears, unexpressed rage, and unspoken grief. This is the frozen river of your past. Each layer of ice corresponds to a moment in your life when an emotion was too overwhelming, too dangerous, or too inconvenient to be felt. So, with the innocent wisdom of a child trying to survive, you froze it. You told yourself, "I'll deal with this later." You thought you were pushing the feeling away, but you were actually locking it inside. You believed this act of freezing was a source of strength, a sign of resilience. And for a time, it was. It allowed you to keep functioning, to get out of bed, to navigate a world that had little patience for authentic emotional expression. But a river is not meant to be ice. Its nature is to flow. And the energy required to keep this river frozen, day after day, year after year, is the hidden source of your deepest exhaustion. This is the psychological truth we must now face. Your feelings of stagnation, your creative blocks, your inability to connect deeply with others, your recurring patterns of self-sabotage, they are all symptoms of this frozen energy. Life force, or chi, or prana, is meant to flow through you like a river, informing your intuition, fueling your passion, and connecting you to the present moment. When this river is frozen, you are cut off from your own vitality. You are living from the neck up, a mind disconnected from the wisdom of its body, a strategist without an army. You analyze life instead of living it. You think about love instead of feeling it. You numb the lingering ache with the 1,000 distractions the Guardian so readily provides, all in a desperate attempt to avoid the cold truth of the ice within. The inner conflict here is one of the most poignant in the human experience. A part of you, the part that is thawing, knows that this ice must melt. It feels the pressure building up behind the dam of your repression. It senses that your true life, the vibrant, flowing existence you crave, is waiting on the other side of this thaw. Yet, another part of you, the part still allied with the Guardian, is terrified. It remembers the original pain that created the ice. It believes that to feel that pain again would be to be destroyed by it. So it whispers, "Don't go there. It's too much. You survived by freezing it. Don't be a fool and undo that work now." And so you are caught in a terrible bind, the agonizing discomfort of the frozen state versus the perceived terror of the thaw. You live in a state of constant, low-grade dread, neither fully alive nor fully at peace. But what the Guardian fails to understand is that the pain is not in the feeling. The pain is in the resisting of the feeling. The energy it takes to hold a beach ball underwater is immense and exhausting. The moment you let go, it pops to the surface and the struggle is over. Your emotions are that beach ball. The core message, the foundational permission we must now grant ourselves is this. Healing is not the erasure of the past, but the full circulation of its emotional content. Feelings are not facts. They are visitors. They are energy in motion. They are not here to harm you. They are here to be acknowledged, honored, and released. To heal is to become a safe container for your own emotional river to finally flow. It is to sit on the riverbank of your awareness and allow the ice to melt piece by piece, and to watch the waters of your own history flow by without judgment. You must be willing to feel it, to heal it. There is no other way. You have carried this frozen weight for long enough. It is time to let the river run. Our guiding metaphor is the dam. Your unprocessed pain is like a vast reservoir of water held back by a concrete wall of denial and fear. The pressure is immense. It causes cracks in your foundation: anxiety, depression, physical illness. The temptation is to believe we must dynamite the whole dam at once, to face everything in a single terrifying explosion of catharsis. This is a dangerous and unnecessary myth. The path of gentle, sustainable healing is not to destroy the dam, but to find the courage to open one small sluice gate. Just one. We allow a manageable stream of that stored energy to flow through. We feel it, we process it, and when it has passed, we close the gate. We rest, we integrate. Then, when we are ready, we open it again. This is how we drain the reservoir of pain without being drowned by it. So how do we open this first gate? We perform a sacred act of truth-telling. We engage in the practice of therapeutic writing. This is your practical tool. Find a time when you will not be disturbed. Take a pen and paper. The physical act is important. It connects the mind to the body, and you begin to write. You are writing a letter to the universe, to God, to your own soul. You are writing a letter that no one else will ever see. This is your permission slip for radical honesty. Do not worry about grammar, spelling, or making sense. Your only task is to give a voice to the ice. Write about the event you have never spoken of. Write down the words you wish you had screamed but swallowed instead. Write the anger, the shame, the betrayal, the heartbreak. Do not hold back. If tears come, let them fall onto the page. They are the first signs of the thaw. If your hand shakes with rage, let it. This is the energy finally being allowed to move. Give voice to the abandoned child, the misunderstood teenager, the wounded adult. Write it all down until there is nothing left to say for that day. Pour the poison onto the page. When you are finished, read it over once, not to analyze, but to honor the truth you have told. Acknowledge the courage it took to write it. This is you, bearing witness to your own pain, perhaps for the first time. And then comes the final, crucial step. You must release it. Take the pages and destroy them in a way that feels meaningful to you. Burn them safely and watch the smoke carry the words away. Tear them into tiny pieces and bury them in the earth. Submerge them in water until the ink bleeds and the paper dissolves. This is not just a symbolic gesture, it is an energetic declaration. You are telling your subconscious mind, I have heard this story, I have honored this pain, and now I am letting it go. It no longer defines me. It is no longer frozen within me. It is released. You are consciously transmuting the dense energy of pain into the liberated energy of wisdom. You do not have to tackle your biggest trauma on the first day. Start with a smaller piece of ice, a frustration from last week, an argument from last year. Build your capacity for feeling and releasing. As you do this, you will notice a shift, a lightness in your spirit, a little more room to breathe. You are creating flow. And as this river begins to move, it will inevitably churn up debris from the riverbed, fragments of old beliefs, murky sediments of sadness, sharp rocks of anger. The current might feel strong, even frightening at times. You might feel a wave of sadness wash over you for no apparent reason, or a flash of anger that seems disproportionate to the current situation. This is normal. It is the river cleaning itself out. But it raises a critical question. As these powerful currents of emotion begin to move through us, how do we avoid being swept away? How do we stay present and grounded amidst the sometimes turbulent waters of our own healing? We need an anchor. We need something that can hold us steady in the heart of the storm, something that is always with us, always reliable, always in the present moment. We need to learn the forgotten art of our own breath. As the ice of your past begins to thaw, the river of your inner world stirs into motion. At first, it is a gentle trickle, but soon, currents begin to form. A current of grief, cold and deep, pulls you under with a sudden wave of sadness. A current of anger, hot and fast, crashes against the rocks of your present moment, sending sprays of irritation into the air. A current of fear, murky and unpredictable, creates eddies of anxiety that spin you in circles. Your mind, accustomed to the stillness of the ice, is immediately captivated by this new motion. Like a child seeing a river for the first time, it runs to the bank, mesmerized. It dips its hand in, and in an instant, the current hooks it. A memory flashes, a painful word from years ago, and the mind is dragged into the torrent of sadness, reliving the original wound as if it were happening right now. A future worry surfaces, a catastrophic what-if, and the mind is swept into the whirlpool of anxiety, experiencing the stress of an event that has not even occurred. This is the nature of the untrained mind. It is a time traveler. It lives anywhere but here. It builds its home in the graveyards of the past, endlessly rearranging the tombstones of old regrets. Or it lives in the phantom cities of the future, tirelessly drawing blueprints for imagined disasters. It is almost never at home, in the only place where life is actually happening, the present moment. This constant mental time travel is the source of almost all human suffering. You cannot change the past by revisiting it. You can only re-inflict its pain upon yourself in the now. You cannot control the future by worrying about it. You can only sacrifice the peace of your present moment to the ghost of what might be. This is the great internal conflict. Your body exists only in the present, but your mind is a perpetual wanderer. This schism between mind and body is a chasm of unease, and as the river of your emotions begins to flow with real force, this chasm can feel like a terrifying abyss. You fear you will be swept away entirely, lost in the currents of your own history and fears. But you possess an anchor. You were born with it. It is the most profound and overlooked technology in the known universe, a tool of such elegant simplicity that the mind, in its love for complexity, dismisses it as trivial. It is your breath. The conscious awareness of your own breathing is the anchor that can hold you steady in the heart of any emotional storm. Think of it. Your breath has no past and no future. It does not worry about the next inhalation or reminisce about the last exhalation. It is always, and only, now. It is the rhythmic, constant evidence of your own aliveness in this very second. It is the bridge that connects your wandering mind to your present body. It is the sacred meeting point of the seen and the unseen, the physical and the spiritual. To bring your awareness to your breath is to call your wandering mind home. It is to say, with gentle authority, come back from the past, come back from the future. Be here, now. Let us use a metaphor. Imagine your mind is a magnificent kite. It is designed to soar, to catch the winds of thought and inspiration. For years, you have let the string go. Your kite has flown wild in the turbulent gales of the world, the winds of other people's opinions, the storms of cultural anxiety, the updrafts of your own conditioned fears. It dives and twists and plummets, and you, holding the empty spool, feel dizzy and out of control, your neck aching from trying to follow its chaotic flight. Now, imagine your breath is the string. To focus on your breath is to consciously pick up the string once more. You are not trying to pull the kite out of the sky. You are not trying to stop it from flying. You are simply holding the string. You are feeling the gentle, firm tension in your hand. By focusing on the anchor point, the string in your hand, you become grounded. The kite still flies, the thoughts still come, the winds still blow, but you are no longer at their mercy. You are connected. You are the calm center of the kite's wild dance. With a gentle tug on the string of your breath, you can guide the kite away from a storm cloud. You can help it find a current of smoother air. You reclaim your relationship with your own mind. You are no longer the victim of its flight. You are the pilot. So how do we practice this? How do we learn to hold the string? We begin with a technique that is both profoundly simple and physiologically powerful. It is called box breathing. You can do this anywhere, anytime. You feel the currents of emotion begin to pull at you. You can do it with your eyes open or closed, sitting at your desk or waiting in a line. No one even needs to know you are doing it. It is a silent act of self-regulation. Find a comfortable position. Gently exhale all the air from your lungs. Now, inhale slowly through your nose to the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel your belly and chest expand. Now, hold the breath at the top for the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Be still in this moment of fullness. Then, exhale slowly and smoothly through your mouth for the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel the release, the letting go. Finally, hold the breath at the bottom, in the emptiness, for the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Be comfortable in the void. That is one cycle. Repeat it. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. As you do this, you are sending a powerful signal from your body to your brain. You are bypassing the frantic chatter of your conscious mind and speaking directly to your ancient nervous system. This slow, rhythmic, controlled breathing pattern tells your amygdalate brain's alarm center that you are safe. It shifts you out of the fight or flight response of the sympathetic nervous system and activates the rest and digest response of the parasympathetic nervous system. Your heart rate slows. Your blood pressure lowers. The stress hormones flooding your system begin to recede. You have, through the conscious use of your breath, become your own sanctuary. You have built a moment of peace in the eye of the hurricane. It is crucial to understand that this practice is not about suppressing or ignoring your emotions. It is the exact opposite. By anchoring yourself in the breath, you create a stable platform from which to safely feel your emotions. When a wave of sadness arises, you meet it with your steady breath. You breathe into the feeling. You allow it to be there, like a rain cloud passing over your landscape. But because you are anchored, you do not become the rain cloud. You remain the landscape, the vast, open, unchanging space in which the weather of your emotions can unfold without destroying you. You can finally allow the river of your past to flow, because you are no longer afraid of being swept away. You can sit on the bank, anchored by your breath, and watch the waters with a newfound sense of compassionate detachment. You can honor the grief, the anger, the fear, as energy passing through without identifying with it. This is the essence of emotional freedom. So, this is your anchor. Practice with it. Use box breathing when you feel the first tug of anxiety. Use it when you feel the heat of anger rising. Use it when you are about to walk into a stressful situation. Use it in the middle of the night when your mind refuses to be still. Let the rhythm of your breath become the rhythm of your peace. Let it be the string that connects you always to the sacred present moment. With this anchor firmly in your grasp, you have become a different kind of explorer. You are no longer a castaway, tossed about by the waves. You are a navigator. You are equipped to sail the vast inner ocean of your own being. And as you become more confident in your ability to stay centered, you begin to notice things you missed before. You begin to perceive the underlying laws that govern this ocean. You realize the currents are not random, the waves are not arbitrary. The entire ecosystem of your inner world operates according to a profound and predictable principle. It operates according to the law of energy, the law of vibration. With your anchor of breath held firmly in your hand, you have become a navigator of your own inner ocean. You are no longer tossed about by every wave of emotion. You can hold your center. From this place of newfound stability, you begin to observe the sea itself. You notice that the ocean of your experience is not chaotic. It has laws. It has a physics of its own. And the most fundamental law, the one upon which all others are built, is the law of vibration. The principle is this: your external world, the life you see before you, is not a random collection of events. It is a mirror. It is a flawless, instantaneous reflection of your own inner state. Everything you experience, the people you meet, the situations you encounter, the opportunities that come or go, is a direct reflection of the vibrational frequency you are emitting. This is perhaps the most difficult and liberating truth you will ever encounter. Your ego, the guardian at the gate, will immediately rise up in protest. It will scream, "No, it is not my fault that my boss is difficult. It is not my fault that I am struggling financially. It is not my fault that I was hurt in my past relationships. I am the victim of these circumstances." This belief in victimhood is the cornerstone of the ego's fortress. It absolves you of all responsibility, but it does so at the cost of all your power. To be a victim is to be helpless. We are here to reclaim your power, and that requires moving beyond the illusion of victimhood and embracing the profound responsibility of being a creator. Let us demystify this. Everything in the universe, from the chair you are sitting on to the thoughts in your head, is energy. And all energy vibrates at a particular frequency. This is not metaphysics, this is physics. Thoughts and emotions are not just abstract experiences, they are measurable energetic vibrations. Emotions like love, joy, gratitude, and peace vibrate at a very high, fast frequency. They feel light, expansive, and warm. Emotions like fear, shame, guilt, and resentment vibrate at a very low, slow frequency. They feel heavy, constricting, and cold. Your dominant emotional state, the feeling tone that runs like a background program throughout your day, is your personal vibrational signature. You are broadcasting this signature into the universe every second of every day. Here lies the internal conflict, the great hypocrisy of our energy. We say we want to experience love, but we spend our days marinating in the low frequency of resentment towards an ex-partner. We say we want abundance, but we obsessively vibrate with the frequency of lack, constantly focusing on the bills we have to pay and the things we cannot afford. We say we want peace, but we voluntarily tune into the frequencies of fear and outrage peddled by the news, or we engage in the dense, low vibration of gossip and judgment with our friends and colleagues. You cannot hope to experience a reality of joy while your being is tuned to the frequency of complaint. The universe is not confused by this. It does not listen to the words you say. It responds, with perfect and impersonal precision, to the frequency you are. This is the core message, the secret hidden in plain sight. The universe does not give you what you want, it gives you what you are. You do not attract what you wish for, you attract what you vibrate as. This is the true meaning of the law of attraction, which has often been misunderstood as a cosmic vending machine. It is not about simply thinking positive thoughts or pasting pictures on a vision board. Those can be useful tools, but they are useless if your underlying vibrational state remains one of fear, doubt, and unworthiness. You can shout, "I am abundant," at the sky all day long, but if your body is contracted in the feeling of scarcity, scarcity is the reflection you will see in the mirror of your life. The journey, then, is not to chase after a different reflection in the mirror. It is to change the very being that is casting the reflection. You change your life by changing your frequency. Imagine you are a radio broadcast tower. Your thoughts, beliefs, and especially your emotions determine the signal you transmit. The universe is a vast radio receiver. It can only play the station you are broadcasting. If you are broadcasting on 98.7 FM, the station of life is a struggle and people can't be trusted. The universe cannot deliver you the program that is playing on 104.5 FM. The station of life is a joyful adventure, and I am supported. It is not punishing you. It is not withholding the good station from you. It is simply honoring the laws of physics. It can only give you what you are tuned to. The people who betray you, the job that frustrates you, the red lights that stop you, they are not random misfortunes. They are the content of the program you are broadcasting. They are the universe, lovingly, perfectly showing you what station you are tuned to, giving you the feedback you need to decide if you want to change the channel. So, how do we change the channel? How do we consciously alter our own broadcast? We do it by cultivating the feelings we wish to experience before they appear in our external reality. And the master key, the most powerful and direct way to elevate your frequency, is the practice of gratitude, but not the polite, superficial thank you of social convention. We are talking about a deep, cellular, somatic feeling of appreciation. This is your practical tool. every morning, before you pick up your phone, before the frequency of the world has a chance to tune you, take 3 minutes, lie in your bed, and find 3 specific things to be grateful for. Do not choose big, abstract concepts. Choose simple, tangible things that are present in your immediate reality. The warmth of the blankets against your skin, the solidness of the bed beneath you, the silence of the early morning, the taste of the first sip of water, the fact that you have woken up today. Choose one of these things. Now, do not just think about your gratitude. Feel it. Breathe into your heart and generate the actual, physical sensation of appreciation. Let it swell in your chest. Let it feel like warmth, like light. Let a smile touch your lips. Linger in this feeling for a full minute. You are, in this moment, consciously choosing your frequency. You are starting your day by broadcasting on the high-frequency channel of abundance and well-being. Then, do the same for the second thing and the third. This small practice, done consistently, is an act of vibrational alchemy. You begin your day by telling the universal mirror, "This is who I am. I am a being who experiences warmth, comfort, and appreciation." And the mirror, by law, must begin to reflect more circumstances, people, and events that match that frequency. You are not begging the universe for a better life. You are demonstrating, through your own energy, that you are already living it on an inner level, and the outer must eventually conform to the inner. This is not about blaming yourself for past misfortunes. Many of our early frequencies were conditioned into us before we had any conscious choice. We absorbed the fears of our parents, the limiting beliefs of our culture. The point is not to lament the past broadcasts. The point is to realize, with breathtaking clarity, that you are holding the dial right now. In this sacred present moment, you have the absolute power to choose your frequency. You can continue to broadcast the old, painful static of your conditioning, or you can begin, with gratitude, to tune into the clear, beautiful music of your soul's true nature. We now understand the law of the inner ocean. We are not victims, we are broadcasters. We understand that our reality is a reflection of our vibration, and we have a powerful tool in gratitude to consciously elevate that vibration. But as you begin this practice, you may notice an internal resistance. The ego, the guardian, is comfortable in the familiar frequencies of struggle, control, and effort. It believes that good things must be earned through hard work and striving. The idea of simply shifting a frequency to change reality may seem too easy, too simple. It leads us to a profound question. What if the highest frequencies are not achieved by trying harder, but by an entirely different mechanism? What if the real power lies not in grasping, but in letting go? We must now explore the radical, transformative power of surrender. You now understand that you are a broadcast tower, radiating a frequency that the universe mirrors back to you. You have a tool in gratitude to consciously elevate that frequency. But as you begin this practice, you may notice a deep-seated resistance. A part of you, the guardian, finds this idea of effortless manifestation unnerving. It was trained in the school of struggle. It believes that to achieve anything of worth, you must exert force, you must strive, you must control. The ego's mantra is, if I just try harder, plan better, and manage every variable, I can force the world to give me what I want and protect myself from pain. This relentless pursuit of control is the great unspoken addiction of the modern world. It is the hidden engine behind our collective burnout, our anxiety, and our profound sense of dissatisfaction. We try to control everything. We try to control the opinions of others, carefully curating our own images to elicit the desired response. We try to control the outcomes of our careers, creating rigid 5-year plans that leave no room for serendipity. We try to control our loved ones, believing we know what is best for them. We try to control time itself, cramming our days with endless tasks, fighting against the natural rhythm of rest and activity. This incessant need for control stems from a fundamental lack of trust in life itself. The ego operates from the premise that the universe is a chaotic, dangerous place, and that you are alone in your struggle against it. To maintain this illusion of control, you expend an unimaginable amount of life force energy. It is the energy of constant tension, of a mind that never stops running scenarios, of a body held in a perpetual state of readiness for a fight. You are at war with the present moment, constantly trying to bend it to your will. This is the inner conflict that leaves you so deeply exhausted. It is the white-knuckled grip of your ego, desperately clinging to the steering wheel, versus the quiet, expansive wisdom of your soul, which knows that the river of life has a current and a destination of its own. Your ego wants certainty. Your soul understands that certainty is an illusion and that real magic lies in the unknown. Your ego wants to follow a map. Your soul wants to navigate by the stars. You are torn between the exhausting effort of forcing a path through the jungle and the terrifying prospect of trusting that there is already a path, if only you would be still enough to find it. The burnout you feel is not from the journey of life itself. It is from the friction of your constant resistance to it. It is time to learn the sacred alchemy of surrender. Let us first be very clear about what surrender is not. In the ego's lexicon, surrender is synonymous with defeat, failure, weakness, and passivity. This is a profound misunderstanding. True spiritual surrender is not giving up. It is a conscious, courageous, and supremely powerful act. It is the decision to stop fighting reality. Surrender is not the abandonment of your goals. It is the release of your rigid attachment to how and when those goals must be achieved. It is an active and vibrant trust in a higher intelligence, a cosmic wisdom that can see the entire tapestry, while your limited mind can only see a few tangled threads. It is the ultimate statement of faith, declaring to the universe, I have done my part. I have set my intention. I have taken the inspired actions. Now, I release my need to micromanage the outcome. I trust you. The metaphor that serves us best here is the river. For years, you have been trying to swim upstream. You believe the source of the river, your ultimate destination, is behind you. You fight the current with all your might. Your muscles burn, your lungs ache, and you make painstakingly slow progress, all while feeling heroic in your struggle. Other swimmers, also fighting the current, praise your strength and determination. Surrender is the moment of profound awakening when you finally stop thrashing. In your exhaustion, you let go and you turn over onto your back, and you realize with a shock of revelation that the river was never your enemy. The current is, and has always been, flowing towards the great ocean of your highest good. Your struggle was not only unnecessary, it was the very thing keeping you from your destination. By surrendering to the flow, by allowing the current to carry you, you find that you are moving faster, more effortlessly, and more joyfully towards the ocean than your most strenuous efforts could have ever achieved. You are no longer fighting the power of the river, you are aligned with it. This is surrender. It is the shift from fighting life to dancing with it. The practical application of this is a ritual of release. This is a tool to disengage the ego's grip and consciously align with the flow. First, identify one specific thing in your life that you are trying to control with a white-knuckled grip. Perhaps it is another person's choices. Perhaps it is the timeline of a project. Perhaps it is your own healing process. Be honest. Where are you swimming upstream? Second, take a piece of paper and write it down. Make the struggle tangible. For example, I am trying to force my career to follow the exact path I planned 5 years ago. Or, I am consumed with trying to control what my family thinks of my life choices. Third, and this is the most important part, you must speak your surrender into existence. Read what you have written, take a deep breath, and say these words aloud, with as much sincerity as you can muster. I now see my struggle to control this. I acknowledge the fear that is driving this need, and I now choose to let it go. I surrender my need to control this outcome. I release my attachment to a specific result. I trust that the process of life is intelligent and loving. I trust that the highest good for all concerned is unfolding perfectly. My hands are open. I am ready to be guided. Say it. Feel the energetic shift in your body as you speak the words. It might feel like your shoulders dropping an inch. It might feel like a deep sigh you didn't know you were holding. You are actively changing your frequency from the dense vibration of resistance to the high, clear vibration of trust and allowance. This is not a one-time fix. This is a practice. You may need to perform this ritual daily for a situation you are struggling with. You are retraining your nervous system to choose trust over fear. Here lies the great paradox of power. The moment you truly surrender your need to control a situation, you gain an uncanny influence over it. When you act from a place of trust, your actions are no longer tainted by the needy, anxious energy of your ego. They become clear, intuitive, and potent. You say the right thing at the right time without overthinking it. You make decisions with an effortless grace. People and opportunities are drawn to your non-resistant energy field. The universe, no longer needing to reflect your struggle back to you, is now free to present you with shortcuts, synchronicities, and solutions that your controlling mind could never have conceived of. By releasing your grip, you allow the hands of the universe to work on your behalf. As you begin to practice this, as you consciously release your grip on one area of your life after another, a new inner state begins to emerge. When you are no longer filling every moment with the mental effort of planning, worrying, and controlling, a space opens up. It is a quietness, a stillness, a spaciousness in your mind and in your day. The ego, the guardian, is immediately alarmed by this. It abhors a vacuum. It rushes in and asks, with a hint of panic, "What is this? What is this emptiness?" We must fill it immediately with a new worry, a new plan, a new distraction. But this is not a void of lack. It is a void of pure potential. We have arrived at the threshold of a new territory, a space that is essential for all creation. We must now learn to become comfortable in this space. We must learn to cultivate the sacred emptiness. Through the courageous act of surrender, you have begun to release your white-knuckled grip on the world. You have stopped swimming against the current. You have started to open your hands. And in this new openness, a space appears, a pause, a quiet interval between the frantic notes of your former life. But the guardian, your ego, is a connoisseur of noise and a sworn enemy of stillness. It abhors a vacuum. The moment this inner space emerges, the ego rushes in with a sense of panic. This is dangerous, it declares. This is boredom. This is emptiness. We must fill it immediately. Pick up your phone, turn on the television, make a to-do list, think about a problem. Do something, anything, to fill this terrifying void. This fear of emptiness is one of the most profound sicknesses of our time. We have been conditioned to believe that a full schedule is a sign of a full life. We equate stillness with laziness and boredom with a failure of character. We have become masters of filling every conceivable moment with stimulation. We listen to podcasts while we brush our teeth. We scroll through the lives of strangers while we wait for our coffee. We eat our meals in the glow of a screen, our attention fractured, our senses dulled. We have forgotten how to simply be. We are running, not towards anything, but away from something. We are in a frantic, desperate flight from the experience of ourselves. The constant noise is not just entertainment, it is an anesthetic. It is a buffer we place between ourselves and the disquieting questions that might arise in the silence. Am I happy? Am I living a life of meaning? Who am I, really, beneath all the labels and the roles and the noise? The inner conflict, then, is between two kinds of exhaustion. First, there is the soul-deep weariness that comes from constant overstimulation. Your nervous system is frayed. Your mind is cluttered with useless information. Your spirit is starved for a moment of genuine peace. You feel a deep craving for quiet, for simplicity, for a release from the relentless barrage of input. But this craving is met with a second, more acute force, the terror of what you might find in the quiet. The ego warns you that if you stop running, you will have to face the landscape of your own inner world without distraction. You will have to sit with your unresolved feelings, your quiet anxieties, your deep loneliness. The conflict is the choice between the slow, grinding death by 1,000 distractions and the perceived sharp, immediate threat of meeting yourself, naked and unadorned. We must now perform another great act of alchemy. We must redefine emptiness. We must rescue it from the ego's slander. The void is not a sign of lack. It is not nothingness. The sacred emptiness is the womb of all creation. It is pure, undifferentiated potential. It is the fertile darkness of the soil from which the seed of a great oak will grow. It is the silence between the notes of a symphony that gives the music its power and its poignancy. It is the vast, empty space of the night sky that allows the light of the stars to be seen. The universe itself, the totality of all that is, was born from a great, silent, mysterious void. To fear the void, then, is to fear the very source of life and creativity itself. Your next great leap in consciousness will not come from acquiring more information, it will come from creating more space. The metaphor is simple and absolute. A cup that is already full of stale water cannot be filled with fresh wine. A page that is already covered in frantic, meaningless scribbles cannot hold a beautiful poem or a life-altering idea. Your mind is this cup. Your mind is this page. For years, you have kept it perpetually full of other people's opinions from the news and social media, full of worries about the future and regrets about the past, full of data, facts, gossip, and noise. There has been no room for your own authentic wisdom to arise. There has been no space for a truly original thought or a moment of divine inspiration to land. By constantly consuming, you have starved your own creativity. By constantly listening to the world, you have forgotten how to listen to yourself. To heal, to grow, to create the new life you seek, you must be willing to become empty. You must learn to love the fertile void. Your practical tool for this is the creation of a daily ritual. We will call it the digital sunset. It is a simple, non-negotiable container of empty time that you will give to yourself each day. The rule is this: 1 hour before you intend to be asleep, all screens must be turned off. The phone is put on silent, face down, in another room if necessary. The television is off. The computer is off. The tablet is off. You are intentionally unplugging from the global mind, the matrix of digital noise. This 1 hour is a sacred offering to your own soul. What do you do in this hour? The answer is as simple as it is challenging: as little as possible. The goal is not to trade one form of stimulation for another. This is not the time to catch up on work, or organize your closet, or even to read a self-help book. The purpose is not to be productive. The purpose is to practice the art of non-doing. You can sit in a comfortable chair and simply stare out the window. You can sip a cup of herbal tea, feeling its warmth in your hands. You can do some gentle stretching, feeling into your body. You can listen to the ambient sounds of your home. You can simply be. At first, this will feel excruciatingly uncomfortable. Your mind, the addict, will scream for its fix. The urge to grab your phone will feel like a physical thirst. This is the detoxification. This is the moment of power. Your practice is to simply notice this urge, this internal fidgeting, and to not act on it. You watch the craving arise, and you watch it pass, anchoring yourself with your breath. As you commit to this practice, you will notice a predictable sequence. First, the debris of the day will surface. The unresolved conversation, the lingering worry, the flash of irritation, they will all bubble up to the surface of your awareness now that there is nothing to suppress them. This is a good thing. This is your mind's natural self-cleaning process. Allow these thoughts and feelings to arise without judgment. Let them be seen, and they will pass. Second, you will likely encounter pure boredom, a raw feeling of what now, with an edge of agitation. We have been trained to see boredom as a problem to be solved immediately. I invite you to see it instead as a gateway. Do not run from it. Lean into it. Feel its texture. Stay with the discomfort. Boredom is the final guard at the door to the creative void. If you can stay with it long enough, it will dissolve. And then, after the debris has been cleared and the gateway of boredom has been passed, the magic begins. In the stillness, a whisper, a new idea for a project may float into your mind, fully formed. A sudden, elegant solution to a problem you have been wrestling with for weeks may present itself. A wave of profound peace may wash over you for no reason at all. A forgotten, happy memory from childhood may surface, warming your heart. This is your own soul, your higher self, finally having a quiet moment to speak with you. This is the wisdom that can only grow in the fertile soil of sacred emptiness. You are finally emptying the cup, and the universe is beginning to fill it with wine. These inspirations, these solutions, these feelings of peace that arise from the void, they feel different from your normal, everyday thoughts. They do not come from the frantic, logical, problem-solving part of your mind. They feel less like thinking and more like receiving. They are quiet, they are subtle. They feel like a gentle knowing that seems to arise not from your head, but from your gut, from your heart. This is a different kind of intelligence, an intelligence that speaks not in words, but in whispers, in feelings, in a felt sense of rightness. To evolve further, we must learn to tune our awareness to this subtle frequency. We must learn the language of these whispers from the void. We must learn the language of our own intuition. In the fertile silence you have begun to cultivate, something new is taking root. From the sacred emptiness, whispers arise. These are not the loud, argumentative voices of the ego, nor the fearful pronouncements of the guardian. This is a different quality of intelligence. It is quiet, subtle, and it does not speak in words. It speaks in a language you knew fluently as a child, but were taught to forget as an adult. It is the language of your intuition. It is the voice of your soul. We live in a civilization that has crowned the logical mind as king. From our earliest days in school, we were trained to worship at the altar of data, to trust only what could be proven, measured, and articulated in a linear fashion. We were taught to make pro and con lists, to analyze, to reason, to strategize. Our minds were sharpened into formidable instruments, but in the process, we were systematically disconnected from another, more ancient and holistic form of intelligence, the wisdom of the body. We were taught that the body was merely a vehicle for the brain, and that its feelings, hunches, and gut reactions were primitive, unreliable, and to be ignored in favor of rational thought. This great severing of mind from body is the source of our modern confusion. We are a people armed with the most sophisticated maps, yet we have forgotten how to read our own internal compass. This creates a profound and painful inner conflict. You have surely felt it. You are faced with a decision. Your logical mind has done the calculations. On paper, one option makes perfect sense. The job offers more money. The relationship looks perfect to everyone on the outside. The investment is a sure thing. Your rational mind presents its case with flawless, compelling logic, and yet, your body is screaming no. A cold knot forms in the pit of your stomach. A heavy, dead weight settles in your chest. You feel a visceral sense of wrongness, a subtle but unmistakable feeling of contraction. The ego, your inner lawyer, immediately leaps in to discredit this bodily evidence. You're just nervous, it argues. You're afraid of success. You're being irrational. Don't be a fool. This is the logical choice. And because you have been taught that the mind is king, you often betray your body's wisdom. You take the job. You stay in the relationship. You make the investment. And months or years later, you find yourself in a state of misery, looking back on that moment and thinking, I knew it. I knew, deep down, that this was the wrong path. That knowing was your intuition, your soul's compass, and you were persuaded to ignore it. The journey back to an authentic life is the journey of learning to honor the wisdom of the body above the arguments of the mind. The core message is that your intuition is real, it is reliable, and it is always speaking to you. Its primary purpose is to guide you along your unique life path, the path that is most aligned with your soul's growth and purpose. It is your personal guidance system, but you must learn its language. Intuition does not speak in full sentences. It speaks in the binary language of sensation, expansion and contraction. Expansion is the feeling of yes. It is a sense of opening, lightness, warmth, resonance, and flow. When you consider a path that is right for you, your body feels subtly more open. Your breath might deepen. You might feel a sense of excitement or quiet joy. It feels like leaning into life. Contraction is the feeling of no. It is a sense of tightening, heaviness, coldness, dissonance, and resistance. When you consider a path that is wrong for you, your body subtly recoils. Your stomach may tighten, your chest may feel constricted, you might feel a sense of dread or a sudden drop in your energy. It feels like something is off. This language is happening constantly. Your body is perpetually giving you feedback about the people, places, and choices you encounter. Your task is not to create intuition, but simply to learn to listen to the signals you are already receiving. The rational mind and the intuitive mind are not enemies. They are two different tools for two different jobs. Let us use the metaphor of a map and a guiding star. Your rational mind is a map. It is an incredible, useful tool. It is a composite of all the information you have learned, all the experiences you and others have had. The map can show you the paved roads, the established routes, the cities that others have built. It is excellent for navigating known territory, for performing tasks in the consensus world. But you are here because you are seeking to go beyond the established roads. You are seeking your own unique path, a path that does not exist on any map. For this journey, you need a guiding star. Your intuition is that star. It does not provide you with a detailed step-by-step plan. It provides a single, unwavering point of light in the distance. It guides you across the uncharted wilderness of your own potential. A map can tell you how to drive from one city to another. A guiding star can lead you to a hidden spring in the middle of a desert. To live a truly extraordinary life, a life of purpose and soul, you must learn to use both your map and your star, and to know when to rely on which. Here is your practice for learning to consult your guiding star. It is a way to make decisions using your body's compass. When you are faced with a choice, whether large or small, resist the urge to immediately make a pro and con list. Instead, find a quiet space, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths with your anchor, coming fully into the present moment. Now, place one hand over the center of your chest and one hand over your stomach, just below your rib cage. This physical touch brings your awareness directly to your body's two great intuitive centers. First, bring to mind the first option. For example, imagine you have already said yes to this choice. Embody it as a reality. Do not analyze it. Simply hold the scenario in your awareness. Now, ask your body a simple question. How does this feel? And then listen, instantly. What is the very first, most subtle sensation you feel under your hands? Is there a slight opening, a warmth, a feeling of lightness? That is expansion, a yes. Or is there a subtle tightening, a clenching, a feeling of dread or heaviness? That is contraction, a no. Do not second-guess this first signal, the thoughts that rush in immediately afterward. But it would be more sensible to, what will people think if? That is the ego trying to reclaim control. The first, pure, physical sensation is the truth of your intuition. Thank your body for the information. Now, let that scenario go completely. Take a cleansing breath and repeat the process with the second option. Embody it as a reality and ask your body again, how does this feel? Notice the difference in the physical sensation. One path will feel more open, more resonant, more you than the other. The path of expansion is the path of your soul. This practice, over time, will build an unshakable trust in your own inner guidance system. To sharpen this intuitive sense, you must practice it. Do not wait for a life-altering decision to try it out. Use it for small things. Standing in front of your bookshelf, ask, which book does my soul want me to read? And see which one your hand is drawn to. When you go for a walk, ask at each intersection, which way feels more expansive, and follow the pull. In a restaurant, look at the menu and ask, which food would nourish my body most right now? Instead of just ordering what you always have. Each time you honor a small intuitive hit, you are strengthening the muscle. You are telling your soul, I am listening, I trust you, and the whispers will grow clearer and more confident. The more you reduce the external noise in your life through practices like the digital sunset, the more sensitive you will become to these subtle inner signals. The quiet mind is the best receiver for the broadcasts of the soul. As you become more attuned to your intuition, you will find it an infallible guide. It will lead you away from harm and toward opportunity in ways that your logical mind could never anticipate. But even with a clear compass, the journey can be difficult if the lens through which you are viewing the world is distorted. It is like trying to navigate by a star while looking through a dirty, warped piece of glass. The star is true, but your perception of its location is skewed. This perceptual lens is your personal belief system. It is the collection of stories you have been telling yourself for your entire life about who you are, what you are capable of, and how the world works. To hear your intuition with perfect clarity and to have the courage to act upon it, we must first examine and clean this lens. We must become conscious of the stories we are weaving. Your intuition is now your guiding star, a clear point of light in the vast inner sky. The sacred emptiness has given you the silence to perceive its subtle glow. But as you begin to trust this inner compass, you may find that you still hesitate. You receive a clear intuitive yes, a feeling of expansion and rightness about a certain path, yet you find yourself unable to act. This is because your intuition is being filtered through a distorted lens. This lens is the story you tell yourself about who you are and what the world is like. It is the most powerful and invisible force shaping your reality. You do not experience life as it is. You experience the story you have woven about it. This process began in childhood. As you navigated the world, your mind, the great meaning-making machine, began to collect data points. The time you were praised for being quiet, the time you were criticized for being too loud, the success that came from hard struggle, the relationship that ended in heartbreak. Your guardian, the ego, did not just store these as isolated events. It began to weave them together into a coherent narrative, a personal mythology designed to make sense of the world and keep you safe. If you experienced abandonment, the story became, I am not worthy of love, and people always leave. If you only received praise for high achievement, the story became, my worth is dependent on my success. If your early environment was chaotic, the story became, the world is an unsafe and unpredictable place. These stories, woven from the threads of your past pain and pleasure, solidified into core beliefs. They are the subconscious software that runs your life. They feel like absolute truth. They feel like you. And here, we uncover one of the most profound inner conflicts. There is a part of you, your soul, that is nudging you towards a new, expansive life. Your intuition points the way, but this new life exists outside the boundaries of your old story. To choose the new path, you must let go of the old identity. This is terrifying. The old story, even if it is a story of suffering, is a familiar prison. You know its walls, its routines, its predictable pains. There is a strange comfort in its familiarity. The story I always have to struggle for everything is painful, but it also makes you feel heroic and strong. The story I am a victim is disempowering, but it absolves you of responsibility. The idea of walking out of this prison into the wide, open, unknown landscape of a new story is daunting. Who would you be if you were not a survivor? Who would you be if you were not defined by your struggle? This fear of losing your identity, even a painful one, is what keeps you chained to a narrative that no longer serves you. You are caught between the slow death of living an old story and the perceived ego death of writing a new one. Let this be your liberation. You are not the story. You are the storyteller. You are the weaver at the loom. For years, you have unconsciously allowed the guardian to weave a tapestry of your life, using only the dark threads, the threads of fear, lack, and limitation. And the resulting picture has been gloomy and constricted. But the basket of threads at your feet has always contained all the colors. It holds the brilliant, shimmering threads of your resilience, your courage, your kindness, your creativity, and your capacity for love. Rewriting your inner narrative is not about pretending the dark threads don't exist. That would be a lie. It is the conscious, empowered act of reaching into the basket, picking up the threads of light, and beginning to weave them into the tapestry. You are not erasing the past. You are recontextualizing it. You are creating a picture so vast, so rich, and so beautiful that the dark threads no longer dominate the view. Instead, they become part of the whole, providing the contrast that makes the light shine even more brilliantly. This is your practical tool for becoming the conscious weaver of your life. It is a 4-step process for rewriting a core limiting belief. Step 1. Identify the old story. Become a detective of your own inner world. The next time you feel a potent, familiar negative emotion, a surge of anxiety, a wave of hopelessness, a flash of anger, pause. Do not get lost in the emotion. Instead, ask yourself this powerful question: what story am I telling myself right now that is creating this feeling? Get to the root of it. Write it down. Be brutally honest. For example, I feel anxious because the story I'm telling myself is that if I am not productive every single second, I am worthless. Or, I feel sad because the story is that I am fundamentally alone and no one will ever truly understand me. Expose the story. Drag it out of the shadows of your subconscious and into the light of your awareness. Step 2. Challenge the story with counter evidence. Your ego is a biased storyteller. It has built its case by carefully selecting only the evidence that supports its limiting narrative. Your job now is to become a fair-minded defense attorney for yourself. Scour your own history for any piece of evidence, no matter how small, that contradicts the old story. If the story is "I am worthless," can you remember a single time someone thanked you sincerely? A single time you created something beautiful? A single act of kindness you performed? List this evidence. If the story is "I am always alone," can you remember a single moment of genuine connection, a shared laugh with a stranger, the loyalty of a pet? This step is crucial because it proves to your logical mind that the old story is not an absolute truth. It is just a biased perspective. Step 3. Write the new, empowering story. Using your counter-evidence as a foundation, it is time to write a new, more truthful, and more empowering narrative. This should not be a fantastical affirmation that you do not believe. It must feel true and expansive. The old story, "I am worthless if I'm not productive," could be rewritten as, "My worth is inherent and unconditional. I enjoy creating and contributing, but my value as a being does not depend on my output. I am worthy of rest." The old story, "I am fundamentally alone," could become, "I cherish moments of deep connection when they arise, and I am also my own greatest companion. My own presence is a source of comfort and strength." Write this new story down. This is your new core belief. This is your new truth. Step 4. Embody and reinforce the new narrative. A new story cannot live only on a piece of paper. You must weave it into the fabric of your being. This requires repetition and embodiment. Every morning when you wake up, and every evening before you sleep, read your new story aloud. Then, close your eyes and feel it. What would it feel like in your body if this story were 100% true? Would your shoulders relax? Would your breath deepen? Would a smile form on your face? Generate the physical sensation of your new reality. Then, throughout your day, when you notice a situation triggering the old story, you must consciously interrupt the pattern. Take a breath and silently repeat your new story to yourself. This is not a battle. It is a gentle, persistent repatterning. You are carving new neural pathways in your brain, literally rewiring yourself to support your new reality. This is the work. This is how you take back the pen from the guardian and become the author of your own life. You stop being a passive character in a story written by your past and become the active creator of the epic adventure you were born to live. But a story, no matter how powerful, remains a fiction until it is expressed through action. A new narrative requires new behaviors to anchor it in the physical world. A new identity must be proven to yourself through your choices. Even the smallest, most disciplined step, taken consistently in the direction of your new story, sends a thunderous message to the universe and to your own subconscious. This is who I am now. We must now turn to the quiet, unglamorous, and world-changing power of discipline. You have peered into the lens of your own perception and found the stories etched upon it. You have taken up the author's pen, and with courage and compassion, you have begun to write a new narrative, a new truth for your life. This is a monumental act. But a story, no matter how beautifully written, remains a mere fantasy until it is lived. To bring your new narrative from the ethereal realm of thought into the solid world of experience, you must provide it with evidence. You must become a living demonstration of its truth. This requires the bridge of action. And the architect of this bridge is a force we have been taught to fear, a word we associate with punishment and rigidity. That word is discipline. For most of us, the very concept of discipline is tainted. It conjures images of a harsh drill sergeant, of joyless self-denial, of a cold war waged against our own desires. We see it as the price we must pay for our own perceived inadequacies. This is the ego's version of discipline, a tool of control, born from a fundamental belief that you are inherently flawed, lazy, and must be whipped into shape. It is a discipline of fear, but we are here to learn of a different kind, a higher form. We are here to reclaim discipline as an act of profound devotion. The inner conflict plays out every single day, in 1,000 small moments. It is the moment the alarm clock rings. The you who has written the new story. I am a person who honors my body with movement, and stillness knows that this is the time to rise for meditation or exercise. But another part of you, the creature of comfort who lives in the old story, craves the warmth of the bed, the familiar bliss of the snooze button. It whispers, just 5 more minutes. You're tired. You deserve a rest. Start tomorrow. This is the eternal battle, the desire for immediate comfort versus the commitment to your future self. It is the choice between who you have been and who you are becoming. Each time you choose comfort over commitment, you feed the old story. Each time you choose commitment, you cast a powerful vote for the new one. Let us now redefine discipline in the language of the soul. Discipline is not the punishment you inflict upon yourself, but the promise you keep to yourself. It is the highest form of self-love. It is looking at the choice between the donut and the healthy meal and understanding that one offers a fleeting moment of pleasure while the other is an investment in the vitality of your sacred body. It is choosing what your higher self wants most over what your conditioned self wants now. Furthermore, true discipline is not restriction, it is liberation. It frees you from the prison of your own moods and whims. Without discipline, you are a slave to your fleeting feelings. You only work when you feel motivated. You only exercise when you feel energetic. You are a leaf blown about by the fickle winds of your own internal weather. With discipline, you become the master of your weather. You have the freedom to choose your actions based on your deepest values and commitments, regardless of the passing clouds of your mood. It is the freedom to consciously create your life. Most importantly, see every disciplined act as a prayer in motion. It is an act of devotion to the vision you hold for your life. When you choose to sit in silence for 5 minutes instead of scrolling through your phone, it is a devotional act that says to the universe, I am committed to my inner peace. When you choose to write 1 page of your book instead of watching another hour of television, it is a devotional act that says, I am committed to bringing my unique creative gift into the world. These small acts are not chores, they are ceremonies. They are the physical embodiment of your new story. Imagine you are building a great temple, the temple of your new life. Each small disciplined choice is a single stone. 1 stone by itself seems insignificant. You place it on the foundation and step back, and the progress is barely visible. It is easy to become discouraged. The ego will say, see, this isn't working. It's not worth the effort. But the law of the universe is the law of compounding. You show up the next day, and with the same devotion, you place another stone, and another the day after that. Day after day, you place your single stone. Then, one day, you look back over a year of this consistent, devoted practice, and you are stunned to see the magnificent, formidable walls of your temple rising towards the sky. The power was never in the size of the stone. The power was in the unwavering consistency of the devotion. To put this into practice, let us begin not with a grand, intimidating gesture, but with a simple, elegant rule that builds momentum. It is called the 2-minute rule. The rule is this: if a task on your path takes less than 2 minutes to complete, you must do it immediately. Do not think about it. Do not schedule it. Do not add it to a list. Simply do it. If it takes less than 2 minutes to wash your plate after a meal, do it now. If it takes less than 2 minutes to put your shoes back in the closet, do it now. If the first step of your meditation practice is to simply sit on the cushion, and that takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. If writing your new story on a post-it note and sticking it to your mirror takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. This rule is profoundly effective because it bypasses the friction of starting, which is often the hardest part of any task. But its true power lies in the identity it helps you build. Every time you complete a 2-minute task, you are casting a vote for a new identity. You become a person who is tidy, a person who follows through, a person who keeps their space clear. You are proving your new story to yourself in dozens of micro-actions throughout the day. This creates a powerful current of momentum. The energy you gain from completing these small tasks can then be channeled into the larger stones you wish to place in your temple 30-minute workout, the hour of deep work. You are training yourself at a cellular level to be a person of action. This speaks to a deeper truth about the integrity of the self. Your self-esteem is not built on affirmations, it is built on evidence. Every time you keep a promise you make to yourself, no matter how small, you forge a bond of trust with your own soul. You demonstrate that your word is good, that your commitments matter. This alignment of word and action creates an unshakable foundation of personal power and integrity. Conversely, every time you break a promise to yourself by hitting the snooze button, by eating the junk food you swore off, by skipping the practice you committed to, you create a tiny fracture in your self-trust. You tell your subconscious mind, "My word means nothing. My commitments are optional." Over time, these thousands of tiny fractures erode your self-respect and leave you feeling powerless and adrift. The practice of discipline is the sacred work of healing these fractures, one kept promise at a time, until your inner world is whole, coherent, and strong. As you engage in this devoted practice, as your actions begin to align perfectly with the new story you are writing, you will begin to generate and accumulate a new kind of energy. It is a potent, clear, high-frequency life force. This energy is your most precious resource. It is the fuel for your creativity, your healing, and your ability to manifest your vision in the world. But this newfound energy is like a garden you have just lovingly planted. The world is full of weeds, pests, and careless visitors that can drain its vitality if you are not vigilant. Our next sacred task is to learn how to become a wise and discerning guardian of this precious inner resource. We must learn how to protect our energy. Through the alchemy of devoted action, you have begun to cultivate a new power. It is the steady, clear, high-frequency energy that comes from aligning your choices with your truth. This energy is your most valuable asset. It is the fertile soil in which your new life will grow. It is the vibrant life force that fuels your creativity, your joy, and your capacity to love. Think of this energy as a beautiful, sacred garden that you have just begun to tend. You have cleared the rocky ground of your limiting beliefs. You have planted the seeds of your new story, and you have watered them with the devotion of your discipline. For the first time, tender green shoots are beginning to push through the soil. But a young garden is a vulnerable place, and the world is full of energies that can trample your new growth if you are not a vigilant and loving guardian. We live in an energetically porous world. We are constantly interacting with people, places, and information, and each of these interactions is an energetic exchange. Without conscious awareness, we can easily find our precious life force being siphoned away, leaving us feeling drained, irritable, and depleted, often without knowing why. The primary drains on our energy are not always obvious. They include the friend who calls only to complain, trapping you in a cycle of negativity. They include the family member who thrives on drama, constantly trying to pull you into their emotional storms. They include the colleague who subtly belittles your ideas, leaving you feeling small and insecure. These are not necessarily bad people. They are simply people who are unconscious of their own energy and are seeking to balance their own inner lack by drawing on the vitality of others. The drains are also environmental. A cluttered, chaotic living space constantly leaks energy as your subconscious mind registers the disorder as a series of unresolved tasks. The digital environment is perhaps the most pervasive drain of all. A social media feed filled with comparison and outrage, a news cycle built on fear and division. These are not neutral inputs. They are low-frequency broadcasts that can infect your energetic field, leaving a residue of anxiety and cynicism. Every piece of gossip you listen to, every violent movie you watch, Every cynical comment you absorb has an energetic cost. It lowers your vibration and weakens the soil of your sacred garden. This leads to a deep and painful inner conflict, the ingrained desire to be nice versus the soul's primal need for self-preservation. From a young age, many of us were taught that being a good person means being endlessly available, accommodating, and selfless. We were taught that saying no is selfish, that setting a boundary is unkind. This is the disease to please. It is the ego's desperate strategy to gain love and approval by abandoning our own needs. And so, you find yourself torn. You know that a phone call with a certain person will leave you feeling exhausted for hours. You know that scrolling through your newsfeed before bed will give you nightmares. Yet, you answer the phone. You keep scrolling. You say yes when your entire body is screaming no. You do this because the fear of disappointing someone, the fear of being seen as selfish, feels more immediately threatening than the slow, quiet death of your own inner light. Here is the truth that will set you free. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It is a sacred responsibility. You are the sole gatekeeper of your sacred garden. You and you alone have the right to decide who and what you allow into your energetic space. Saying no to a person, an activity, or a piece of information that drains you is one of the most powerful acts of self-love you can perform. It is a declaration of energetic sovereignty. It is a powerful yes to your own peace, your own vitality, and your own divine purpose. You cannot pour from an empty cup. By keeping your own wellspring full, you have infinitely more to offer the world. A wise gardener is not considered mean for pulling weeds or building a fence. They are understood to be wise, nurturing, and dedicated to the health of their garden. You must become this wise gardener for your own soul. So, how do we practice this sacred guardianship? It begins with the cultivation of awareness and the implementation of energetic hygiene. First, you must learn the art of the graceful no. You do not need to provide a long, defensive explanation. A simple, honest, and firm boundary is an act of kindness to both yourself and the other person. You can say, "I appreciate you thinking of me, but I don't have the capacity for that right now." Or, "I love you, but I'm not able to get involved in that situation." Or, "I need to protect my peace, so I can't engage in that conversation." Notice that these statements are about your capacity and your needs, not about their request being wrong. This removes the element of blame and makes the boundary clean. Second, conduct a personal energy audit. For 1 week, become a scientist of your own vitality. After each significant interaction, a meeting, a phone call, time with a friend, watching a particular show, pause and check in with your body. Ask yourself, do I feel more energized or more drained? Do I feel lighter or heavier? Do I feel expanded or contracted? Simply notice without judgment. The data you collect will be illuminating. It will show you exactly where your energy is flowing and where it is leaking. This awareness allows you to make conscious choices, to invest more time in the people and activities that nourish you, and to lovingly distance yourself from those that deplete you. Third, you must practice daily energetic cleansing. Just as you wash the dirt from your physical body in the shower, you must wash the energetic grime of the day from your aura. This can be done through a simple visualization. At the end of your day, sit or stand quietly for a few moments. Close your eyes. Imagine a brilliant shower of golden or pure white light pouring down from above your head. Visualize this light flowing over and through your entire body like a waterfall of liquid light. See it dissolving any dense, heavy, or foreign energy you may have picked up. See it washing away the residue of other people's fears, the static of the media, the stress of your workday. Watch it all flow down into the earth beneath you, where it is neutralized and recycled. Feel yourself becoming clean, clear, and filled only with your own pure, vibrant light. Finally, consciously curate your inputs. You are the master of your own media diet. Go through your social media feeds and unfollow any account that consistently makes you feel inadequate, angry, or fearful. Limit your exposure to news sources that thrive on sensationalism. Choose to listen to music that uplifts your spirit. Choose to watch movies and shows that inspire you or make you feel genuine joy. Treat the information you consume with the same care you would treat the food you eat. Ask yourself, is this nourishing for my soul? Do not fall into the ego's trap of believing this is selfish. This is self-fullness. A person who is drained, resentful, and energetically depleted has nothing of value to offer anyone. Their attempts to help are often tainted with martyrdom and a need for recognition. But a person who is energetically sovereign, whose cup is full and overflowing, becomes a beacon of light without even trying. Their calm presence soothes others. Their clear energy uplifts a room. Their genuine joy is infectious. You serve the world most profoundly, not by sacrificing your energy, but by protecting it so fiercely that your very being becomes an offering of peace and vitality to everyone you meet. As you become this wise guardian, as you build a strong and healthy fence around your sacred garden and diligently pull the weeds, something magical happens. The tender shoots you have been nurturing now have the safety, the space, and the rich soil they need to truly flourish. They are no longer being trampled or poisoned. In this protected, sacred space, the unique, native flowers of your soul, your authentic gifts, your deepest passions, your true purpose can finally begin to blossom. We are now ready to examine the divine blueprint for this garden, the pattern that has been waiting all along to be revealed. The garden of your inner world is now a protected, sacred space. The fence of your boundaries is strong, the soil has been cleared of weeds and nourished with self-love. In this pristine, quiet sanctuary, something that has been dormant for a lifetime finally has the safety and the space to reveal itself. A pattern begins to emerge in the soil. It is a design of exquisite and unique beauty, a celestial geometry that has been encoded within you since before your birth. This is the blueprint of your soul. For most of your life, you have felt lost, adrift, or purposeless, not because you lack a purpose, but because you have been diligently trying to build your life using someone else's blueprint. From the moment you were born, you were handed blueprints that were not your own. Your parents, with the best of intentions, handed you a design based on their own hopes, fears, and unfinished dreams. Society handed you a mass-produced, one-size-fits-all blueprint for a successful life, complete with prescribed milestones for career, marriage, and material acquisition. The educational system presented you with a limited set of approved blueprints, valuing certain kinds of intelligence and paths while dismissing others. You were given map after map, design after design, by a world that, in its desire to be helpful, forgot to tell you the most important truth. You were born to be your own architect. The deep, gnawing feeling that something is off, the sense of being an imposter in your own life, comes from this fundamental misalignment. You have been trying to build a Grecian temple on a foundation that was designed for a Celtic stone circle. It simply does not fit. This creates a silent, agonizing conflict that rules many lives. On one side, you have the safe path one laid out for you by the world's blueprints. Following this path earns you approval, praise, and a sense of security. You are seen as responsible, successful, and normal. Your guardian, the ego, loves this path. It is predictable and it minimizes the risk of judgment. But on the other side, there is a quiet, persistent calling from deep within your being. It is a whisper that has been with you your whole life, a yearning for something else, something more authentic, something that the world may not understand or approve of. It is the pull towards a path that may seem illogical or impractical. It is the voice of your own blueprint, your soul, attempting to assert its own divine design. You are torn between the fear of disappointing everyone you love and losing the security you have built, and the quiet, soul-crushing pain of knowing you are betraying the very essence of who you came here to be. Let this message land in the deepest part of you. Your purpose is not something you must go out and find. It is not a job title, a specific role, or a grand mission to save the world. Your ultimate purpose is to fully, joyfully, and unapologetically be yourself. That is it. That is the great work. Your purpose is to uncover the unique, never-to-be-repeated pattern of your own soul and to allow it to express itself in the world. The clues to this blueprint are not hidden in complex philosophical texts or given to you by an external authority. They are hidden in plain sight. They are encoded in your own joy. What makes you feel expansive and alive? What activities make you lose all track of time? What subjects spark a genuine, childlike curiosity within you? These are not frivolous hobbies or useless distractions. They are sacred signposts. They are the golden threads that, when followed, will lead you to the heart of your own design. Joy is the compass of the soul. Let us embrace a new metaphor. You were not born as an empty vessel waiting to be filled. You were born as an acorn, and within that small acorn, the entire, perfect and complete blueprint for a magnificent and unique oak tree already exists. The acorn does not need to attend seminars on how to become an oak tree. It does not need to strive or struggle or force itself to grow. Its only job is to allow its own innate divine intelligence to unfold. The work of the acorn is not to add anything to itself. The work is to be planted in good soil, the sacred garden you have been tending, and to allow the obstacles to be removed. The rocks of other people's limiting beliefs, the weeds of your own fear, the concrete of societal expectation. Once these are cleared away, the oak tree grows. It grows automatically, effortlessly, and perfectly into the unique expression of its own truth. It does not try to be a pine tree or a rosebush. It simply becomes the most glorious oak tree it can be. You are this acorn. Your task is not to figure out who you are supposed to be. It is to courageously remove all the layers of who you are not, so that the truth of who you have always been can finally emerge. To begin deciphering your personal blueprint, we will use a practical tool, the Joy Compass. This is a reflective exercise in 3 parts. First, ask yourself the great question of aliveness. Find a quiet moment, take a piece of paper, and write this at the top. If money were no object, and I had absolutely no fear of failure or judgment from anyone, what would I joyfully do with my time? Let yourself dream without limits. Do not edit your answers based on practicality. Would you paint? Would you learn a new language? Would you spend your days hiking in nature? Would you build things with your hands? Would you study ancient history? Would you cook elaborate meals for people you love? Write down everything that comes to mind that gives you a spark of genuine excitement. Second, perform a memory excavation. Travel back in time, particularly to your childhood, before the weight of conditioning became so heavy. What did you love to do then, simply for the joy of it? What were you endlessly curious about? Were you the child who was always taking things apart to see how they worked? The child who was always telling stories? The child who was always organizing games? The child who was happiest alone, observing insects? These early passions are the raw, unadulterated threads of your soul's design. They are vital clues. Third, for the next 7 days, keep a curiosity log. Carry a small notebook with you. Your only task is to jot down anything, no matter how small or seemingly random, that sparks a genuine flicker of interest or joy. It could be a word you overheard, a color combination on a building, a topic mentioned in a podcast, a skill you saw someone perform. Do not judge these entries. Do not ask what is the point of this. Simply log the sparks. At the end of the week, look over your list. You will begin to see a pattern, a constellation of interests forming. This is a map of your soul's natural inclinations, free from the ego's agenda of what is productive or useful. As you engage with this process, you must release the ego's attachment to a grand, singular purpose. The ego loves the idea of a heroic, world-changing mission because it makes purpose seem rare and special, and often unattainable. This gives it an excuse to remain in its current, familiar state. But the truth is, your purpose, your blueprint, is expressed in every moment. It is in the unique way you listen when a friend is in pain. It is in the care with which you prepare a meal. It is in the passion you feel when discussing a subject you love. Your purpose is a quality of being that you bring to everything you do. It is the frequency of your unique soul expressed through your actions, whether those actions are as grand as building an orphanage or as simple as tending to a single houseplant with love. As you begin to see the shimmering outlines of your own blueprint, as you start to honor the guidance of your joy compass, you will naturally begin to diverge from the well-trodden paths of the crowd. You will start making choices that others may not understand. To walk this authentic path requires a different kind of strength, a strength born not of conformity, but of inner conviction. It requires the courage to be misunderstood and the willingness to find your validation not in the applause of the world, but in the quiet, solid company of your own true self. To cultivate this strength, you must be willing to undertake another sacred journey. You must be willing to walk for a time in the desert of solitude. You have begun to read the blueprint of your soul. You have started to follow the compass of your joy, and it is leading you, inevitably, away from the crowded, well-paved superhighways of conformity and onto a narrow, winding path that is yours alone. As you take these first few steps, you may notice a new and challenging feeling arise. It is the feeling of being alone on your path. The voices of the crowd grow fainter, their approval and understanding more scarce. This can be a moment of great fear. The ego, the guardian, panics at the thought of being separated from the tribe. It equates being alone with being abandoned. But we are now at a critical juncture where we must learn one of the most vital distinctions on the spiritual path: the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is a state of poverty. It is a painful feeling of lack, an aching void that you believe can only be filled by the presence and validation of another. Loneliness is the suffering of a self that has lost connection with its own source. It is a hunger for something external to soothe an internal famine. Solitude, on the other hand, is a state of richness. It is the chosen, conscious act of connecting deeply with your own being. Solitude is not an absence of others. It is the profound and fulfilling presence of yourself. It is not a void to be feared, but a space to be cherished. Our society, in its terror of loneliness, has taught us to avoid solitude at all costs. It has conflated the two, leading us to believe that time spent alone is time wasted or a sign of social failure. We must now dismantle this false belief. We must learn to see solitude not as a punishment, but as a privilege. The inner conflict here is between the ego's deep-seated need for social validation and the soul's quiet insistence on self-communion. Your ego is terrified of missing out. It constantly checks to see what others are doing, comparing your journey to theirs. It tells you that if you are not seen, you do not exist. It pushes you to be constantly connected, constantly available, constantly performing your role within the social fabric. But your soul, the keeper of your unique blueprint, knows that it can only hear its own subtle guidance when the roar of the crowd has faded. It knows that the final answers are not found in conversation with others, but in communion with the self. You are torn between the noisy, distracting comfort of the tribe and the quiet, intimidating call of your own inner wilderness. Here is the core message you must embrace. To find your true self, you must be willing to enter the desert of solitude. Every great prophet, mystic, and visionary in human history understood this. They willingly left the marketplace of the world to journey into the desert, the cave, or the mountaintop. They did this not to escape the world, but to find the unshakable truth of themselves, so they could return to the world and serve it from a place of authentic power. The desert of solitude is the crucible where the false self is burned away and the true self is forged. It is in the stark, silent landscape where there is no one to impress, no one to perform for, and nothing to distract you, that you are forced to meet the person you truly are. At first, this can be terrifying, but if you have the courage to stay, you will discover that the desert is not empty. It is full of you. Let us use this metaphor of the desert. The everyday world is a noisy, chaotic bazaar. From all sides, merchants are shouting, trying to sell you things you do not need. They sell you beliefs, opinions, fears, and identities. Buy this belief about politics, wear this identity of success, consume this fear about the future. It is easy to get lost in this bazaar, to fill your arms with so many borrowed things that you forget who you were when you first arrived. Solitude is the act of consciously turning your back on the noise of the bazaar and walking out into the vast, silent desert. The sun of pure awareness feels harsh and exposing. There are no distractions. There is only you and the landscape of your own consciousness. All the noise you have been carrying from the bazaar, worries, the opinions, the anxieties, amplified in the silence. This is the difficult part of the journey. But if you keep walking, something miraculous happens. Stripped of everything external, you begin to feel a different kind of presence. You discover a source of water that does not come from the merchants in the bazaar. You find an oasis. This oasis is your own deep inner wellspring of peace, wisdom, and love. It is your direct connection to Source, to the universe, to God. You realize, with a profound sense of relief, that you carry the oasis within you. You have everything you need. You are not empty. After drinking deeply from this inner well, you can return to the bazaar of the world, but you are a changed person. You can walk through the crowds without being seduced. You can hear the shouting of the merchants without feeling the need to buy anything, because you are already fulfilled from within. You are no longer a thirsty beggar. You are the oasis itself. Your practical tool for entering this desert is to schedule a regular solitude date. This is a non-negotiable appointment you make with your own soul. It could be for 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon or an entire evening, or, if you are feeling truly courageous, a full day. The rules of this date are simple but strict. There is no agenda. There is no to-do list. There is no goal of being productive. All screens are off. You do not read a book to improve yourself or listen to a podcast to educate yourself. The purpose is to create a pure, unstructured space for your authentic self to emerge. Your only task is to follow the quietest whispers of your own being. If you feel a pull to simply sit and watch the light change in the room, that is what you do. If you feel a sudden urge to put on music and dance with wild abandon in your living room, that is what you do. If you feel a wave of sadness and the need to cry, you honor it completely. You are creating a space where you can be utterly, completely, and unapologetically yourself, without any external gaze to shape your behavior. In this sacred space of solitude, you will experience what can be called the great unbecoming. In your daily life, you are constantly becoming someone for others. You are becoming a good employee, a responsible parent, a witty friend, a charming partner. You are wearing a dozen different masks. In solitude, for the first time, you can stop all the becoming. You can simply be. The masks can be set down, the roles can be shed. This is the process of unbecoming all the things you thought you were, so you can discover the truth of who you have always been. It is a process of subtraction, not addition. And in this unbecoming, you make a profound discovery. You are excellent company. You realize that you are not lonely when you are with your own true self. Your own presence is rich, peaceful, and endlessly fascinating. You are no longer afraid of being alone because you have cultivated a deep and loving friendship with yourself. When you emerge from your desert of solitude, you are not the same person who entered. You are quieter, more solid. You are filled with a calm confidence that does not need to announce itself. It is a presence that is not dependent on external validation. And when you re-enter the bazaar of the world, your interactions are different. Your words carry a new weight. Your silence has a new power. Your actions, now originating from this place of deep inner knowing, begin to create clear and undeniable ripples in the world around you. You start to see a direct and immediate correlation between the quality of your inner state and the quality of your outer experience. You are now ready to understand the elegant, impersonal, and perfect law that governs these ripples. You are ready to understand the true nature of karma. You have journeyed into the silent desert of your own being and returned not empty, but full. You are filled with the quiet, solid presence of your own true self. This newfound inner substance changes everything. When you move through the world now, you move with a different weight, a different resonance. Your actions, born from a place of authenticity, create ripples that are clearer and more potent. Your words, spoken from a place of inner stillness, carry a new authority. You begin to notice, with undeniable clarity, the seamless connection between the energy you emanate and the experiences that flow back to you. You are witnessing the workings of a great and elegant universal law. This law has been given a name that is often shrouded in fear and misunderstanding. That name is karma. Let us begin by shattering the myth that has been built around this word. We have been taught to see karma as a cosmic system of reward and punishment, a sort of divine bookkeeping where a judgmental God keeps a tally of our good and bad deeds, dispensing fortune or misfortune accordingly. This is the ego's interpretation. The ego loves the drama of crime and punishment, of guilt and retribution. This fear-based view turns karma into a source of anxiety, making us look at the challenges in our lives as punishments for unknown transgressions committed in this life or a past one. It reduces us to fearful subjects of a capricious king. This is a profound distortion of a beautiful and impersonal natural law. The conflict that arises from this distortion is the struggle between feeling like a victim of fate and an empowered student of life. When faced with a recurring difficulty, a pattern of financial struggle, a series of painful relationships, the mind, conditioned by the old story of karma, asks, "Why is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve this? My karma must be terrible." This line of questioning leads only to helplessness, resentment, and despair. But your soul, the part of you that knows truth, senses a different possibility. It whispers a new question. It wonders if these challenges are not punishments, but lessons. The conflict is between blaming an external force called bad karma and having the courage to take responsibility for the lessons that your own life is trying to teach you. Here is the liberating truth. The word karma, in its original Sanskrit, simply means action or deed. It is not a moral law. It is a law of physics, as neutral and as reliable as gravity. The law of karma is the law of cause and effect. It states that every action, every thought, every word, every deed is a cause that sets in motion a corresponding effect. The circumstances of your life are not rewards or punishments. They are simply the inevitable effects that have returned to you from the causes you have initiated. The universe does not judge your actions as good or bad. It simply mirrors the energy of your actions back to you. If you put the energy of anger into the world will mirror back experiences that reflect that anger. If you put the energy of generosity into the world will mirror back experiences of abundance. Karma is not a punishment. Karma is a mirror. It is a perfect and compassionate feedback system designed to show you the quality of the energy you are creating. The challenges in your life are not a sign of your badness. They are a sign that your soul has designed a curriculum for you, and it will lovingly, patiently present you with the same lesson over and over again until you have mastered it. Imagine you are standing in the center of a vast, circular room whose walls are made of a special material that echoes back not just the sound, but the exact emotional quality of anything you send out. This room is your life. If you shout an angry insult, the angry insult echoes back at you from all directions. A person unaware of the room's nature would think they were surrounded by enemies. They would feel like a victim, shouting back more insults and creating an endless loop of hostility. If you whisper a word of genuine love, the feeling of love envelops you, reflected back from every surface. An unaware person would feel blessed, as if they were surrounded by invisible angels. The great moment of spiritual awakening is when you realize there is no one else in the room. You are the sole source of every echo. The room is not judging you or punishing you. It is a neutral amplifier, flawlessly reflecting your own output. This is the law of karma. With this realization, you cease to be a victim of the echoes. You become the master of the room's atmosphere, for you now understand that to change the reflections you are receiving, you must change the transmissions you are sending out. Your practical tool for working consciously with this law is to change the primary question you ask when faced with a challenge. You must abandon the victim's question, "Why is this happening to me?" and adopt the creator's question, "What is this situation reflecting back to me?" or "What is the lesson here that my soul wants me to learn?" Let this practice become your new habit. The next time you are faced with a difficult situation, especially one that feels familiar, pause, take an anchor of breath. Instead of reacting with your old pattern of blame or despair, ask the reflective question. For example, you find yourself once again with a boss who is hypercritical and micromanaging. The old question is, why do I always get horrible bosses? The new, empowered question is, what within me might this be reflecting? Is there a part of me that is a harsh, inner critic? Am I micromanaging my own life with fear? Am I seeking a sense of worth and approval from an authority figure instead of generating it from within? The answer will not always be obvious, but the question itself shifts you from a position of powerlessness to one of contemplative power. You are no longer a victim, you are a student in the classroom of your own life. This is how you break out of so-called karmic loops. These repeating patterns are simply the universe's most persistent attempts to get you to learn a core lesson. The universe presents a stimulus, for instance. A friend betrays your trust. Your conditioned karmic reaction might be to withdraw, to build a wall around your heart, and to declare that no one can be trusted. This reaction reinforces the original energy, strengthens the loop, and guarantees that the universe will send you another untrustworthy person to give you another chance at the lesson. The way to break the loop is to consciously choose a new response. When the stimulus of betrayal is presented, you pause, you breathe, you acknowledge the pain. But instead of withdrawing into bitterness, you might choose to respond with clear boundaries, with compassion for the other person's woundedness, and with a reaffirmation of your own ability to be a trustworthy person to yourself. By choosing a new reaction, you change the cause. You have demonstrated that you have learned the lesson. The loop is broken. The universe can now graduate you to the next level of your curriculum. You are the center of your own universe, the source of the echoes you experience as your life. And the primary tool you use to send your energy out into the world, the very origin point of the karmic ripple, is your word. Your thoughts create a vibration, but it is the act of speaking that gives that vibration form and projects it into the shared reality. Every word you speak is an incantation. Every sentence you utter is a spell you are casting, setting a chain of cause and effect into motion. To truly become the master of your reality, to consciously create echoes of beauty, love, and abundance, you must first become the master of your own speech. We must now learn to wield our words, not as careless weapons, but as the wands of a powerful and benevolent creator. You stand now in the echo chamber of your own life, aware that you are the source of every reflection, every ripple. You understand that the law of karma is not a moral judge, but a perfect mirror of your own actions. We must now turn our attention to the primary tool of karmic creation, the very point of origin for the ripples you send out into the world. It is your word. We have been taught to think of words as mere labels, as passive descriptors of a pre-existing reality. This is a profound illusion. Your words are not passive, they are active, they are alive. Every word you speak is a vibrational packet of energy, a frequency that you launch into the fertile field of the universe. Your words are incantations, your sentences are spells. You are, whether you know it or not, a magician, constantly casting spells with your speech that shape the reality you experience. Look at how carelessly we wield this immense power. We use our words to complain about the weather, the traffic, our health, our finances. We engage in gossip, weaving stories about others, believing it connects us, when in truth it only mires us in a low-frequency field of judgment. We practice self-deprecation, calling ourselves stupid or clumsy, thinking it is a form of humility, when it is actually a negative affirmation we are feeding directly into our subconscious mind. We speak endlessly of our fears, our worries, and our problems, giving them voice, giving them energy, giving them life. We do this because we believe we are simply describing what is. We do not realize that we are actively commanding more of what we are describing into existence. Herein lies the conflict. Your conscious mind holds a desire for a life of joy, health, and abundance. But your unconscious speech patterns are constantly creating a reality of lack, struggle, and complaint. You wish to build a beautiful temple, but you are using rotten wood and crumbling stones as your building materials. You want to cultivate a garden of roses, but you spend your days scattering the seeds of thistles and thorns with your careless words. You cannot speak of lack all day and expect to live in abundance. You cannot speak of sickness and expect to enjoy vitality. You cannot speak of other people's failings and expect to experience loving, harmonious relationships. The universe is not confused by your mixed signals. It disregards your fleeting wishes and faithfully obeys your dominant, spoken vibrations. The core message is to awaken to your own creative power. Your words are wands. They are tools of immense potency that can be used to build or to destroy. A wand in the hand of an unconscious magician can cause chaos, accidentally turning flowers into dust. A wand in the hand of a conscious creator can turn dust into flowers. You must begin to treat your words with the respect and precision of a master craftsman. You must choose them deliberately. You must speak with intention. This means learning to speak more about what you want to create and less about what you wish to dismantle. It means speaking of your blessings more than your burdens. It means using your words to uplift, to encourage, and to empower both yourself and others. This is not about denying reality or engaging in toxic positivity. It is about consciously choosing where to place your creative energy. Where your word goes, your energy flows, and reality follows. Let us use the metaphor of a vast, fertile garden. This garden is the quantum field, the universal substance from which all things are made. It is neutral, and it has one simple instruction: to grow whatever seeds are planted in it. Every word you speak is a seed. When you say, "I'm so broke, I never have enough money," you are planting a seed of lack. The garden faithfully grows this seed into a reality of more bills and financial anxiety. When you say, "I always get sick this time of year," you are planting a seed of sickness, and the garden of your body dutifully responds. When you complain about your partner, you are planting seeds of discord in the soil of your relationship. You cannot then stand back in surprise and frustration when your life is overgrown with the very weeds you have been planting. The conscious creator understands this. They walk through their garden with care. They say, "I am grateful for the money I have, and I am open to more." They are planting a seed of abundance. They say, "My body is strong, vibrant, and heals itself easily." They are planting a seed of wellness. They speak words of appreciation for their loved ones, planting seeds of love and harmony. Do not blame the garden for what it grows. The garden is your faithful servant. Learn to plant better seeds. To become aware of just how many weed seeds you are unconsciously planting, you must undertake a powerful, practical exercise, the 24-hour complaint fast. For one full day, from the moment you wake until the moment you go to sleep, you make a sacred vow to yourself that you will not utter a single complaint. Not about anything. Not about the traffic, your workload, the line at the store, the political situation, or your own fatigue. This is not an easy task. It is an exercise in supreme mindfulness. You will have to become the vigilant guardian of the words leaving your mouth. The true purpose of this fast is not to achieve perfection, but to achieve awareness. You will likely be shocked to discover that your mind generates dozens, if not hundreds, of complaints per day. You will catch them on the tip of your tongue. The practice is to simply notice them without judgment, and then to consciously choose not to give them the life force of your spoken word. And when you catch a complaint, you must do more than just suppress it. You must pivot. You must immediately find something in that very situation to be grateful for. The traffic is slow. I am grateful for this quiet moment to listen to music and breathe. Your workload is heavy. I am grateful to have a job and the capacity to meet these challenges. By consciously pivoting from complaint to gratitude, you are actively rewiring the default pathways of your brain. You are training yourself to seek the blessing, not the burden. As you master this, you can move to more advanced forms of verbal creation. One is the practice of speaking as if. This means you speak of your desires as though they are already in the process of becoming reality. Instead of the hopeful, wanting vibration of, "I really hope I get that promotion," you shift to the declarative, trusting vibration of, "I am so grateful that the perfect career advancement is aligning for me now." Instead of, "I wish I could find a loving partner," you declare, "I am preparing my heart and my life to welcome the beautiful, loving relationship that is making its way to me." This collapses the energetic distance between your current reality and your desired reality. You are speaking from the end result, which sends a powerful, clear signal to the universe. The most potent incantation of all is contained in two simple words: I am. These are the two most powerful words of creation in existence. Whatever you place after the words I am is a direct command to the universe and to your own subconscious about who you have chosen to be. For years, you have likely been casting negative spells upon yourself without realizing it. I am so tired. I am always unlucky. I am not good at math. I am sick. You have been defining your reality with these powerful declarations. The conscious creator seizes control of this power. You must become vigilant about every sentence that begins with I am. Purge the negative declarations. Begin to consciously plant new seeds. I am vibrant and full of energy. I am divinely guided and supported. I am a creative and intelligent being. I am the picture of perfect health. At first, your ego may resist. It may feel like you are lying. But this is not lying. This is prophesying. You are speaking your new truth into existence. Your words are the ones that shape your world. Your speech is the chisel that carves the statue of your life. Become a conscious artist. Speak with intention. Speak with gratitude. Speak with love. For your words are not just sounds, they are the seeds of your future. But a word spoken with a scattered mind has only a fraction of its potential power. A word that is backed by the focused, coherent, laser-like beam of a clear intention has the power to create worlds. To become a true master of this art, we must now learn how to gather the diffuse light of our consciousness and focus it into a powerful beam of pure intention. Your words are now your wands, poised to cast spells of creation, but a wand waved with a scattered mind has little magic. The true power that animates your words, that gives them the force to shape reality, is the power of your focused attention. This is the art of intention. Most of us move through life with our mental energy in a state of diffusion. Imagine the light from a bare light bulb in the center of a room. It radiates outwards in all directions, providing a dim, general illumination. It touches everything lightly, but has the power to change nothing. This is the state of the modern, distracted mind. Our awareness is constantly being pulled in 1,000 different directions by the ping of a notification, the lure of a new hyperlink, the internal chatter of a fragmented to-do list. We are multitasking, multi-thinking, multi-worrying, and this state of constant diffusion leaves us feeling strangely powerless. We are perpetually busy, yet at the end of the day, we feel we have made no real impact. We have illuminated the whole room dimly, but we have failed to light a single warm fire. This creates a deep internal conflict. There is a part of you, the creator, the soul, that yearns to build something beautiful in your life. It wants to write the book, start the business, heal the relationship, master the skill. It knows that to do so requires a depth of focus, a sustained application of energy. But this noble aspiration is constantly at war with the conditioned part of your brain that has been trained by modern technology to be an addict for novelty. It craves the next small hit of dopamine from a new email, a new like, a new piece of breaking news. You sit down to do the deep work your soul craves, and within minutes the addictive mind begins to fidget. Just check your phone quickly, it whispers. Just see what's happening online. The conflict is between your highest aspiration to be a deep creator and your ingrained conditioning to be a shallow consumer. You want to build a cathedral, but you are too distracted to lay a single stone with presence and care. The key to resolving this conflict and reclaiming your creative power lies in a simple, profound principle. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. This is the foundational law of consciousness. Your attention is the currency of your creative life force. Whatever you place your sustained, focused attention upon, you are feeding with your very essence. You are commanding the energy of the universe to flow towards it and nourish it into being. Intention is the conscious and deliberate act of aiming the fire hose of your attention. It is not idle wishing or passive hoping. It is the active, willful direction of your mental and emotional energy toward a specific outcome or state of being. A clear intention is a command sent to the quantum field. It is a signal that organizes the chaotic energy of potentiality into a coherent, manifest reality. It tells the universe, "Here, focus your creative power on this." Let us use the metaphor of a magnifying glass and the sun. Your conscious awareness is like the light of the sun. On any given day, its rays spread out over a vast area, providing gentle light and warmth. This is your diffused, everyday state of mind. It is pleasant, but it has little power to create significant change. An intention is a magnifying glass. When you set a clear intention, you are taking this powerful tool and using it to gather all the scattered rays of your awareness and focus them down onto a single, tiny, precise point. At this point of intense focus, the gentle warmth of the sun is transformed. It becomes a beam of pure energy, so powerful that it can ignite a piece of paper and start a fire. The power was not in the sun itself. All the energy was already there. The power was in the act of focusing. This is the art of intention. A scattered mind produces a lukewarm life. A focused mind, through the power of intention, can create fire. Your practical tool for wielding this power is the simple transformative ritual of daily intention setting. This is not the same as a to-do list. A to-do list is about the logistics of doing. An intention is about the energetics of being. Each morning, before the world has a chance to scatter your energy, take a few quiet moments for yourself. Sit with your spine straight. Take a few deep anchoring breaths and ask yourself one of these questions. What is the primary quality of being I wish to embody today? Or, what is the most important feeling I want to experience and generate today? Let the answer arise from your heart, not just your head. Perhaps the answer is calm, focus, patience, creativity, love, or abundance. Now, formulate your intention as a clear, present tense statement. For example, my intention for today is to move through all my activities with a sense of calm and ease. Or, my intention today is to be a loving and patient presence for every person I meet, including myself. Or, my intention is to bring joyful, focused energy to my most important creative work. Once you have your statement, the next step is crucial. Do not just think the words, you must feel them. Close your eyes for 60 seconds and embody the feeling of your intention. If your intention is calm, feel the sensation of calm spreading through your body. Feel your shoulders relax, your jaw soften. If your intention is abundance, feel the expansive, grateful, secure feeling of having more than enough. This feeling component is what magnetizes the intention. It is what charges it with emotional power and broadcasts it as a clear, coherent frequency into the universe. It is helpful to understand the difference between goals and intentions. A goal is a destination in the future. I want to earn a certain amount of money, or I want to finish this project by Friday. Goals are useful for direction. An intention is about the quality of the journey, right here in the present moment. I intend to approach my work today with a feeling of abundance, creativity, and flow. Intentions are about the how, not just the what. The magic is that when you focus on embodying a powerful intention for the journey, the destination takes care of itself. When you show up to your work with an intention of focused, joyful creativity, finishing the project by Friday becomes an effortless byproduct. When you move through your life with an inner state of abundance, the external forms of abundance are drawn to you naturally. Your state of being is the cause, the achievement is the effect. By setting a clear intention each morning, you are pre-paving your day energetically. You are giving your subconscious mind and the universe their marching orders. You become proactive, not reactive. Instead of being a boat tossed about by the random waves of the day, you become the captain, setting your rudder in a clear direction. Your intention acts as a filter, helping you to notice opportunities and make choices that are in alignment with your desired state, and to gently disregard those that are not. You have now learned to focus the scattered rays of your mind into a powerful beam of light. You have sent a clear command, a focused intention, out into the universe. This is the first half of the great act of creation. The ego, the guardian, upon seeing this, immediately wants to jump in and manage the second half. It wants to control, to force, to worry, to strategize about how the intention will manifest. This anxious, forceful energy is like putting your hand in front of the magnifying glass. It blocks the light and prevents the fire from starting. The second, more subtle and more advanced part of this process is learning how to dance with the universe. It is learning to hold your focused intention while simultaneously surrendering your attachment to the outcome. We must now explore this delicate and beautiful dance of co-creation. You have learned to focus the light of your mind into a coherent beam of intention, sending a clear command into the creative field of the universe. You have declared what you wish to create. This is the first, powerful step in the dance of creation. But now comes the second, more subtle and often more difficult step. Having sent the signal, what do you do next? The ego, the fearful guardian, immediately wants to take over. It wants to chase after the signal, to manage its progress, to control the outcome. It begins to worry, to strategize, to force, to manipulate. How will it happen? It frets. When will it arrive? Is it working? This anxious, grasping energy is the equivalent of planting a seed in the garden and then digging it up every 10 minutes to see if it is growing. You will kill the very creation you wish to nurture. The second half of this dance requires a completely different quality of being. It requires trust. It requires faith. It requires the art of active allowance. We must understand that creation is not a monologue. It is a dialogue. It is a partnership between you and a vast, benevolent intelligence that we can call the universe, source, or God. In any successful partnership, there is a clear division of labor. The psychological conflict arises when one partner, in this case, your ego, doesn't trust the other and tries to do both jobs. The ego operates like a frantic control freak. The soul, however, understands the nature of a sacred partnership. It knows its role, and it trusts the universe to perform its role flawlessly. Your work is not to manage the entire process. Your work is to become the most impeccable partner you can be for the universe. The inner conflict that sabotages our creative efforts is the conflict between the ego's addiction to linear time and the universe's mastery of divine timing. Your mind wants results on its own impatient schedule. It plants the seed of intention on Monday and expects a full-grown tree by Friday. When this doesn't happen, it concludes, "This isn't working," and abandons the process, filled with doubt and disappointment. The universe, however, operates from a perspective that sees all of time and space. It knows the infinite and intricate web of connections that must be orchestrated for your desire to manifest in the most perfect way, for the highest good of all involved. It knows the person you need to meet is currently on a different continent, and a series of events must unfold to bring you together. It knows the lesson you need to learn before you are ready to handle the success you have asked for. Your impatience is at war with its infinite wisdom. The dance of co-creation requires you to surrender your personal timeline and trust in the perfect, divine timing of the cosmos. Here is the core message: the division of labor in your sacred partnership with the universe. Your part is to do the inner work. The universe's part is to arrange the outer world. Your job description. 1. Get clear on the what and the why. Set a clear, focused intention for what you want to experience and be clear on the feeling behind it. R. Embody the frequency. Use your creative power to feel the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Right now, vibrate at the frequency of your desire as if it has already manifested. This is your primary role as a broadcast tower. 3. Take inspired action. Listen to the whispers of your intuition. When you get a joyful, expansive, or curious nudge to do something, call a certain person, visit a certain place, learn a certain skill, you must act on it without hesitation. This is your cue from your dance partner. The universe's job description. 1. Manage the how, the when, and the who. The logistics are not your concern. The universe has a view of the entire playing field and will orchestrate the details in ways your limited mind could never conceive. 2. Arrange synchronicities. It will align the meaningful coincidences, the chance encounters, and the serendipitous events that will build the bridge from your present reality to your desired one. San. Deliver the essence of your desire. It will bring you the manifestation in the form and at the time that is in the highest alignment for your soul's journey. The art of co-creation is to perform your duties with passion and diligence, and then to have the profound faith to step back and allow your divine partner to do its work. The perfect metaphor for this dance is that of a surfer and the ocean. The ocean is the universe, immense, powerful, and wise. It is the source of the waves. You are the surfer. You do not create the waves. To try and force a wave to appear is an act of insane futility. The job of the surfer is to partner with the ocean, The surfer's work is to choose the right board, set the intention, to wax it with care, embody the feeling, to study the patterns of the sea, be present and aware, and to paddle out to the right spot, take inspired action. Then the surfer waits, not with passive laziness, but with active, alert patience, their eyes on the horizon. They trust the ocean to deliver a wave, and when the perfect wave begins to form the one with their name on it, they turn, paddle with all their might, and when the moment is right, they stand up and ride the magnificent power of the ocean with skill and grace. This is the dance. You do your part to prepare and position yourself, and then you trust the universe to send the wave. Your practical tool for learning to recognize the universe's part of the dance is to keep a synchronicity journal. This is a dedicated notebook where you will become a detective of the divine. Each day, take a few moments to write down any small, meaningful coincidence, moment of serendipity, or lucky break you experienced. Did you think of an old friend only to have them text you an hour later? Did you need the answer to a specific question and then overhear strangers discussing that exact topic in a cafe? Did a book randomly fall off a shelf at the library, open to the very page containing the information you were seeking? At first, your ego will dismiss these as meaningless coincidences, but as you document them day after day, you will build an undeniable portfolio of evidence. You will see, in your own handwriting, proof that you are not living in a random, chaotic world, but in a responsive, intelligent, and magical universe that is constantly communicating with you and conspiring in your favor. Your faith will no longer be a blind belief. It will be an experiential knowing based on your own documented history of the dance. This journal trains your mind to look for the evidence of your partnership, which in turn strengthens your trust and allows the partnership to flourish. A crucial part of this dance is learning to distinguish between forced action and inspired action. Forced action is born from the ego. It feels heavy. It is driven by a feeling of should or have to. It is what you do when you don't trust the wave is coming, so you start splashing around frantically, trying to make your own. It leads to burnout. Inspired action is born from the soul. It feels light, exciting, and effortless. It comes as a sudden, joyful impulse or a quiet, clear knowing. It is the feeling of your dance partner tapping you on the shoulder and whispering, "Now." It is the moment the surfer feels the swell of the perfect wave and knows it is time to paddle. The art of co-creation is to rest in patient trust until you feel the pull of inspired action, and then to act on it with your entire being. This dance is beautiful, magical, and profoundly effective, but it is not always a gentle waltz. Sometimes, the universe does not send a playful set of waves. Sometimes, to test your strength, to help you grow, to clear a path that you are too afraid to leave, it sends a hurricane. It sends the towering waves of loss, of failure, of betrayal, of heartbreak. Our first instinct is to see these storms as a sign that the universe has abandoned us, that the dance is over. But from the highest perspective, these storms are also part of the dance. They are the moments that reveal our true mastery. To be a true co-creator, you must learn not only how to ride the joyful waves of manifestation, but how to stand like an unmovable mountain in the face of life's greatest storms. The dance of co-creation with the universe is one of profound beauty, a partnership of trust and flow. You set your intention, you ride the joyful waves of synchronicity, and you allow life to guide you. But there will be times when the dance changes. There will be times when the music shifts from a gentle waltz to a thunderous, chaotic symphony. There will be times when the universe does not send you a gentle swell to ride, but a towering tsunami that threatens to pull you under. These are the great storms of life: the sudden loss of a loved one, the shattering of a dream, the sting of betrayal, the diagnosis that brings you to your knees. In these moments, our first human instinct is to believe that the dance has gone horribly wrong, that our partner has abandoned us, and that we are being punished. We feel lost, broken, and utterly alone. The true anatomy of our suffering during these storms comes not from the event itself, but from our violent resistance to it. The wave of grief is immense, but it is our struggle against it, our desperate attempt to not be submerged, that exhausts us and fills our lungs with water. The winds of change are powerful, but it is our rigid refusal to bend that causes us to break. Our mind creates a story of injustice. This shouldn't be happening, and this story turns the clean, sharp pain of the event into the chronic, murky suffering of resentment and victimhood. We believe the storm is the enemy, but the real struggle is not against the storm. It is against the nature of reality itself. This unleashes the ultimate inner conflict. A part of you, the fragile human part, feels an overwhelming urge to collapse. It wants to surrender not to a higher wisdom, but to despair. It wants to drown in the bitterness, to build a house out of its grief, to identify completely with its victimhood. It wants to believe the storm is all there is. This is the path of being swept away. But deep within you, beneath the crashing waves of emotion and the howling winds of thought, there is another presence. It is a quiet, ancient, and indestructible spark. It is the primal will of your soul to endure, to learn, and to find the light even in the deepest darkness. The great conflict of any life crisis is between the part of you that identifies with the storm and the part that remembers it is something infinitely greater. Here is the core message, the foundational truth that will become your anchor in any tempest. You are not the storm, you are the mountain. The events of your life, the triumphs and the tragedies, are the weather. The thoughts that race through your mind, the emotions that surge through your body, they are the weather. The weather is, by its very nature, impermanent. The hurricane will exhaust its energy. The blizzard will melt. The thunderstorm will pass, and the sun will shine again. All of it is transient. But you, in your deepest essence, are not the weather. You are the mountain, your true self. The silent, aware consciousness that is witnessing your life is vast, solid, unmovable, and eternal. Storms happen to the mountain, but they cannot fundamentally harm the mountain. The mountain's power does not come from fighting the storm. Its power lies in its profound, silent, and unwavering presence. Let us embody this metaphor completely. Feel yourself as this great mountain. Your feet and legs are your stable base, rooted deep in the nourishing darkness of the earth. Your spine is your central axis, straight and dignified. Your heart is the solid core of granite at the mountain's center. Your head is the majestic snow-capped peak, touching the vast open sky of infinite consciousness. You have been sitting here for eons, and you will sit here for eons more. You have seen thousands of sunrises and sunsets. You have felt the gentle breezes of spring and the quiet chill of autumn, and you have endured 10,000 storms. Now, watch as the storm of your current challenge approaches. See the dark clouds of worry and fear gathering at the horizon. Feel the first lashing winds of anger or criticism. Feel the cold, soaking rain of sadness and grief. Perhaps lightning strikes a sudden, shocking event that cracks the very rock of your reality. The mountain does not resist. It does not complain that the rain is too wet or the wind is too loud. It does not shake its fist at the sky and declare the storm unfair. It does not try to outshout the thunder. It simply sits. It allows the wind to howl around its slopes. It allows the rain to cascade down its face, forming new rivers. It allows the snow to blanket its peak in a deep, temporary silence. The mountain endures. It persists. It is. Its resilience is not an act of aggression, but an act of profound, unwavering beingness. It knows, with a deep, geological certainty that is older than thought, that this too shall pass. Your practical tool for cultivating this unshakable resilience is the mountain meditation. This is not just a relaxation technique. It is a practice of embodying your own indestructible nature. Find a comfortable seated position. Let your posture be stable and dignified, your back straight. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths, feeling your connection to the chair or cushion beneath you, feeling your connection to the earth. Now, bring to your mind's eye the image of the most majestic mountain you can imagine. See its form, its colors, its texture. Notice its solid, rooted base, its gently sloping sides, its sharp, soaring peak reaching into the sky. Hold this image for a few moments, feeling its qualities of stability, strength, and stillness. Now, begin to bring the feeling of the mountain into your own body. Feel your own body becoming the mountain. Your seated posture is its stable base. Your spine is its unshakable axis. Your head is its noble peak. You are solid. You are still. You are majestic and unmovable. You are the mountain. As you sit in your mountainness, allow the weather of your life to come to you. Let the storms of your thoughts and emotions swirl around you. If anxiety comes, let it be the howling wind. If sadness comes, let it be the cold rain. If a painful memory comes, let it be a flash of lightning. You, the mountain, remain still. You notice the weather. You allow it to be there, but you do not become it. You are the vast, silent container for the storm. The storm is happening, but it is not happening to the core of you. The core of you is safe, still, and at peace. Breathe and feel your own immense, quiet strength. Sit like this for as long as you can, simply being the mountain in the midst of the storm. When you practice this, you learn that storms are not just events to be endured. They are powerful agents of transformation. The ferocious winds blow away the dead branches from the trees on the mountain slopes, making way for new growth. The heavy rains carve new, beautiful pathways down its face and collect in deep, clear lakes. The lightning can split open a common rock to reveal a seam of pure, glittering crystal within. This is the phenomenon of post-traumatic growth. The challenges that you believed would destroy you, when met with the resilience of the mountain, actually serve to carve you into a more magnificent, more authentic, and more beautiful version of yourself. You develop a deeper appreciation for the sunshine when it returns. You find a strength you never knew you possessed. You discover a wellspring of compassion for other mountains enduring their own storms. The storm does not diminish you, it defines you. After the greatest storm has passed, the mountain is still there. It is solid, serene, and unmovable, but it is also changed. It has been washed clean. The air around it is crisp and clear. The light of the sun seems to reflect off its surface with a new brilliance. When you learn to embody this mountainous strength, you do not just find peace for yourself. Your steady, unwavering presence in the world becomes a sanctuary for others. You become a landmark for those who are lost in the fog of their own fear and confusion. Your light, forged in the heart of the storm, becomes a beacon. You become a lighthouse. You have stood as the mountain. You have weathered the greatest storms of your life, not by fighting them, but by embodying a strength so deep and so still that the storm simply passes over you. You have endured. But something happens to a mountain that has been washed clean by the rain and illuminated by the lightning of revelation. It begins to shine. Its presence, forged in the crucible of its own trials, develops a kind of luminosity. This is not an effort. It is a natural consequence of your own inner clarity. Your steady, unwavering presence in the world becomes a sanctuary. And a sanctuary that shines in the darkness has another name. It is a lighthouse. This is where a new, subtle, and final temptation of the ego arises. You have done this immense inner work. You have found a measure of peace, clarity, and power that you once thought impossible. You now look out at the world and see others still lost in their own storms, still crashing against the rocks of their own fear and confusion. And the ego, in its new and shiny spiritual guise, sees a grand new purpose for itself. It wishes to become a rescuer. The fixer identity is born. It says, I have the answer. I have found the light. Now I must go out and save everyone. I must heal them. I must fix them. I must show them the error of their ways. This impulse, though it may appear noble, is a trap. It is the ego's last, desperate attempt to create an identity, to find a purpose and a sense of superiority in the act of helping others. This creates the final inner conflict on the path of awakening. It is the conflict between being a light and trying to shine that light on others. Trying is the way of the ego. It is forceful. It involves giving unsolicited advice, preaching your newfound truths, becoming frustrated and disappointed when people do not change on your schedule. It is attaching your own peace to the spiritual progress of another. It is a needy energy that, paradoxically, often makes people resist the very wisdom you are trying to share. Being is the way of the soul. It is the silent, potent, and unwavering embodiment of your own healed state. It is understanding that everyone is on their own divine timeline, learning the lessons their soul has chosen for them. It is trusting that your only job is to keep your own light burning brightly, providing a stable point of reference in the fog, allowing others to navigate by your light if they so choose. The conflict is between becoming a noisy, chasing tugboat, trying to tow everyone to safety, and becoming a silent, majestic, unmovable lighthouse. Here is the core message: your highest service to the world. Your greatest gift is not what you do for others, but the quality of presence you become for them. The world does not need another fixer, another preacher, another self-proclaimed guru. What the world desperately needs are more lighthouses. It needs more people who have done the deep, difficult work of healing themselves, and who are now willing to simply stand as beacons of hope, stability, and unconditional love. You serve the world most profoundly, not by intervening in its storms, but by holding your light so steadily that others can find their own way through them. Embrace this metaphor of the lighthouse completely. The lighthouse is built on the most solid rock, the part of the coast that has endured the most powerful waves. This is your own hard-won wisdom, built upon the foundation of the storms you have survived. The lighthouse does not run up and down the coastline, chasing after ships that are in trouble. It stays in one place. It is utterly reliable. It does not shrink its light on a calm night or try to shine brighter during a storm. Its light is constant. It is unwavering. Its service does not depend on being acknowledged or thanked. It shines just as brightly for the ship that curses it as for the ship that blesses it. It does not judge the unworthy ships and deny them its light. It shines for all. It does not try to tell the captain how to steer. It simply illuminates the dangerous rocks and reveals the clear channel. It empowers the ships to save themselves. This is your new role. This is your highest calling. Your practical tool for embodying this lighthouse presence is the ancient and beautiful practice of metta, or loving kindness meditation. This is the act of silently broadcasting a frequency of benevolent goodwill from the steady rock of your own being. It is the very essence of shining your light without agenda. The practice is simple. Find a quiet, comfortable space. Take a few anchoring breaths. First, bring your awareness to your own heart. Generate a feeling of gentle, unconditional love for yourself. Silently repeat these phrases, feeling them in your heart. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. After a few moments, bring to mind a person you love dearly, someone for whom it is easy to feel affection. Picture them in your mind's eye and extend the same phrases to them. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Feel the genuine warmth of these wishes flowing from your heart. Next, bring to mind a neutral person, someone you see in your daily life but have no strong feelings about: a cashier at the store, a person you pass on the street. Extend the same benevolent wishes to them. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Notice how this expands your field of compassion. Then, if you feel able, bring to mind someone with whom you have difficulty. This is not about condoning their behavior, but about recognizing their suffering and freeing yourself from the low-frequency energy of resentment. With as much sincerity as you can muster, offer them the same. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Finally, expand your awareness to include all beings everywhere, in your city, your country, and across the entire planet. Let your lighthouse beam extend to the horizon in all directions. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings live with ease. This practice is the engine room of your lighthouse. It is an active internal process that has a profound, subtle, external effect. You are not trying to change anyone. You are changing your own energetic broadcast from one of judgment or indifference to one of unconditional, loving goodwill. This high frequency ripples out from you, creating a field of peace and safety around you that people can feel, even if they do not know why. You become a walking sanctuary. As you stand as this lighthouse, a profound realization begins to dawn. You have been so focused on shining your light outward to guide others that you have not fully noticed what the light has been illuminating all along. The steady beam of your own awareness, your own love, your own healed presence, does not just shine out to sea, it also shines down upon the very rock on which you stand. It illuminates your own inner landscape. And in this brilliant, unwavering light, you begin to see that the place you have been seeking, the destination of your entire spiritual quest, was never across the ocean. The treasure was not on some distant shore. The lost city of wisdom, peace, and wholeness was never lost at all. It was right here, all along, waiting to be rediscovered. Your light has finally shown you the way home. The lighthouse of your being stands tall, its beam cutting through the fog of the world. For so long, you believed its purpose was to guide the lost ships at sea, to shine your light outward. But in these final moments of our journey together, you have turned that brilliant light inward, and it has illuminated the very ground on which you stand. In that light, you see not just a barren rock, but the unmistakable glint of gold, the soaring spires of forgotten temples, the intricate patterns of ancient, luminous streets. The light has revealed that you are not standing on the rock. You are the rock. You are not the keeper of the lighthouse. You are the lighthouse, the rock, and the entire magnificent island. The entire journey was a pilgrimage back to the sacred ground of your own being. Throughout all of human history, we have been mesmerized by the myth of an external paradise. We have called it by many names: Eden, Shangri-La, El Dorado, Avalon, Atlantis. We have projected our deepest longings for peace, wisdom, and wholeness onto a place outside of ourselves, a lost golden age, a hidden city, a future utopia, a distant heaven. The spiritual search, for many, has been the quest to find a map back to this lost paradise. We have followed gurus, studied ancient texts, and traveled to sacred sites, all in the hope of finding the secret entrance, the key to the gate. This is the final and most subtle illusion of the ego. It cannot fathom that the kingdom it seeks could possibly reside within its own being. The ego must always have a there to get to, because in the process of getting there, its identity as a seeker is preserved. The final inner conflict, therefore, is not a battle at all. It is a gentle, yet terrifying, laying down of arms. It is the conflict between the identity of the seeker and the reality of the finder. The seeker is a noble identity. It is full of humility, earnestness, and a sacred longing. But it is an identity fundamentally based on the belief in lack, the belief that it is not here yet, that you are not whole yet. To be a seeker is to be in a constant state of becoming. But there comes a point on the path where the journey of becoming must end, and the journey of being must begin. The ego is terrified of this moment, for it means the end of the search, and therefore the end of its role as the searcher. It is the fear of arriving. It is the terror of realizing you are already home, for it means you can no longer use the journey as an excuse to delay the full responsibility of your own divine nature. Here is the ultimate message, the truth that this entire journey has been leading you toward. The search is over. You are that which you have been seeking. Atlantis was never a city of gold and crystal submerged beneath the ocean waves. Atlantis is a state of consciousness, a frequency of being, and it has been waiting patiently within you for your return. The lost words of Atlantis are not inscribed on ancient tablets. They are the whispers of your own intuition. The forgotten frequency is not an external sound to be discovered. It is the natural, resonant hum of your own soul. The path you have walked from hearing that first forgotten hum, to meeting the guardian, to thawing the frozen river, to anchoring in your breath, to working with the universal mirror and the art of surrender, this was not a journey to a faraway land. This was an archaeological excavation of your own divine self. You were not building a new city. You were clearing away the dense jungle of fear, the rubble of limiting beliefs, and the dust of generations of conditioning that had buried the magnificent, shining city of your own true nature. You are not the discoverer of Atlantis. You are Atlantis, reborn. There is an old story of a man who spends his entire life searching for a legendary treasure. The ancient maps lead him across treacherous oceans, through dark forests and over formidable mountains. He endures immense hardship, battles his own demons, and develops great strength and wisdom along the way. Finally, old and weathered, he arrives at the remote island marked on the map. He finds the ancient tree, paces the required steps and begins to dig. His heart pounds as his shovel strikes a hard object. He pulls from the earth a great, ancient chest. With trembling hands, he opens the lid, expecting to be blinded by gold and jewels. But the chest is empty, save for a single beautifully polished silver mirror. He lifts the mirror, and in its reflection, he sees not the face of a triumphant treasure hunter, but simply his own face, etched with the lines of his long journey, his eyes shining with a profound and quiet wisdom. Taped to the back of the mirror is a small faded piece of parchment. It reads, "The journey was not to the treasure, the journey was to you." The final practice, then, is not a practice of doing at all. It is a practice of being. You have graduated from the school of seeking. Your new work is to simply live from the place of having found. This is the practice of living as. You no longer need to perform exercises to find peace. You live as the peace that you are. You no longer need to use techniques to attract abundance. You live as the boundless abundance that is your true nature. You no longer need to search for love. You live as the unconditional love that animates your very being. Your guiding question is no longer, "What must I do to get there?" Your new question, in every moment of your life, is this: as the divine, whole, and perfect being that I already am, how would I respond to this situation? When faced with a perceived insult, you ask, as the boundless peace that I am, how do I respond? When faced with a choice, you ask, as the infinite wisdom that I am, which path do I choose? This shifts your entire operating system from one of striving and lack to one of effortless expression and fullness. You are no longer trying to get water from a distant well. You are living as the wellspring itself. The hum of the forgotten frequency is now the clear and steady music of your life. The guardian at the gate is no longer your jailer, but your wise and integrated advisor. The river of your past flows freely, watering the garden of your present. The mirror of the universe reflects back to you the beauty of your own true face. You have learned to dance with creation and to stand as the mountain. You have become a lighthouse, and its light has led you back to the treasure buried in your own heart. The excavation is complete. The lost city has been found. The real adventure is not in the finding. The real adventure is in the living. The adventure of living as Atlantis, here and now, in this world. The work is done. The living begins. The archaeological dig is over. You can put away the brushes and the picks, the maps to forgotten places, the longing for a world that was lost. The ruins you have so carefully excavated have revealed themselves to be not the remnants of a dead city, but the living foundations of your own magnificent being. The journey inward has reached its destination, and the destination is here. The journey outward is about to begin. You are no longer an explorer searching for answers. You are the answer itself, waiting to be expressed. The frequency of Atlantis is no longer a faint echo from a distant past. It is the steady, resonant music of your life, today. Do not mistake this for an ending. It is the true beginning. All that came before the healing, the releasing, the remembering was merely the prelude, the tuning of the instrument. Now, the concert begins. The power to create a life of profound beauty and meaning was never hidden in a secret formula or an ancient rite. It has been waiting patiently in your own willingness to be still, to listen to the whispers beneath the noise, to trust the guidance of your heart over the fears of your mind, and to have the courage to express the truth of who you are, without apology or hesitation. The universe does not ask for your perfection, it asks only for your authenticity. Let this be the final truth that settles in your bones. You are the light you were seeking. You are the wisdom you were craving. You are the love you thought you had lost. There is nothing you need to acquire, for you are already whole. There is nowhere you need to go, for you are already home. This is not a hollow platitude. It is the fundamental reality of your being, the truth that was waiting for you beneath all the layers of story and conditioning. You have arrived. The search is over. The living begins. Vibrate accordingly.